Welcome to episode 100. Oh no, you didn't put a title. That's 15? 115?
114.
No, we're 115?
114.
No, we're 114.
Sorry. Yeah. Episode 114.
I was going to say, don't scare me like that.
Of the Sunday sequence break. No, it's fine. So it's 114. Number. It's so big, man. I can't even comprehend it. That's so many pieces of bacon, but that's
What? I didn't realize we were measuring the show in pieces of bacon.
Of your esteemed hosts, and equally being esteemed hosts, we have Feasel.
Hello, I'm esteemed. Sorry, that's not very professional.
Another esteemed host, we have Duckfist.
Hello?
He's a steamed host.
Right.
It's the bacon
steamed toast. Yeah, you need to pop bacon on. Pop butter on our steamed hosts. Gildersleeves is the other steamed host.
I'm definitely steamed. Wait,
right.
no, I'm actually happy to be here. Hello.
And here to bring the serious back, we have our special guests at the Contra Conference. I'm going to list names, and if any of you are this name, please say hello. We have Sinister One.
Hello.
We've got Mr. K.
Hello.
Okay, good. We got Zalad.
Hello.
We got DK28.
Reporting for duty.
Okay, good. And I think we have 7 Uyamas.
Guys.
Hey, everybody. All the tech on Fighting Masters.
All right, but for real, we don't have Uyama. All right, so don't ask us about.
And Murph was also delayed.
Games. And Murph was maybe gonna be here, but we don't know unless they show up in the next hour.
Yeah, he keeps getting delayed. I'll actually be cutting out to get him in a bit.
Okay, all right,
acceptable.
So just to preface this now, we'll be doing the Contra Conference bit. We'll be talking about all the games at Contra Conference, and as you know, as a European, I'm not very good with American accents, so I'm probably going to confuse DK and Zalad several times. So DK Zalad, now if I get you wrong, I'm very sorry. If you could just roll with it and act like nothing happened, that'd be great.
Nothing ever happened.
Now, speaking of nothing happening, it's time for recaps.
It is time for recaps. It's time for a split.
Okay.
I'm going to do my best to not mess up the splits this week, y'all.
That's all right. It's chat will go nuts. So.
I know chat will go nuts. That's why.
Starting off with Feasel, what have you been doing this past week?
Oh man, not actually too much speedrunning actually. I've just been working on a lot of things, and I don't know, I've been practicing a little bit of Prince of Persia just to stay warmed up at it. I found a few time savers. You can skip some of the sword pickup animation just by pressing down on the D-pad, so I don't know how I didn't find that one before. But that's like 4 seconds saved in the first level. And then just a bunch of other stuff, using pause buffering more. Lots of good stuff, but I just haven't been streaming too much because I've been getting in like 15 minutes of practice here, 15 there, so it's not really good for streaming. But, you know, still alive, eating bacon.
Good.
Yeah.
That's good. Good to know.
Delicious.
All right. I did Duckfist next, didn't I? Duckfist, what have you been up to? Long time no see. Well, I don't actually know how long it's been, but I just feel like I should say that.
Hey, yeah, it's been a couple of weeks. Not much. Just trying to sort out some life stuff back at home, but a little bit of speed gaming here and there. Haven't really streamed much at all. But yeah, so I picked up Battle Kid 1 and 2 a few weeks back.
Picked them up. Yeah.
Yeah, well, I both bought them and started speedrunning them.
Yeah.
But so yeah, I got into those just from some random blind races I did with the Swedish crew.
Yeah, the Swedes.
Yeah, Dexter, Bad Breaks, Infested Rich. They've been blind racing me like crazy, and it's fun hanging with those guys every now and then. So, but yeah, I played Battle Kid 2 a couple of weeks ago and liked it and started running it. Let's see, in the past week, I haven't really done a whole lot. I did record a Battle Kid 2 run early last week, and I've been messing around with Final Fantasy 3 a little bit. There's potential for some new breakage in that game. New category. Didn't record anything, but beat it in an hour and 10 minutes, no credits warp, and it's pretty crazy now. So you can do some interesting stuff.
That's pretty short.
Yeah, it's completely unrecognizable from what it used to be. You fight like 2 bosses and like maybe 5 random battles, and that's it. Actually, fighting is kind of giving it too much credit, because you literally like glitch the game's battle commands out to where you have a command that's literally end the battle, and the screen closes and the battle's done. No experience rewarded, nothing. You just continue. So it's kind of like boring in that respect, because you don't actually get to see gameplay. But
sometimes that's speedrunning, man.
A wish list. Is there now? That's not necessarily a wish list. Is there an RPG out there where someone has found a glitch to skip text?
To skip
like all text,
like all text, yeah, or like a significant chunk for a period of time?
That's a good question.
'Cause I feel like that's what every RPG runner wants.
Yeah, just not to have to sit through all the constant mashing a button to get dialogue.
Yeah, I had that thought when watching Caracan and wondered how much text skipping he had done in the last 6 hours or whatever it was.
I'd like to know how many like extraneous button presses are done throughout the entire run, because you're mashing the button. How many of those inputs don't do anything? Like
if it's like a game that doesn't allow you to hold the button to advance to the just constantly go through the text. Yeah, if you actually have to mash it, good lord, that's got to be a ton.
Yeah,
that's a ton.
All right, Gildersneeze.
Yes.
What have you been doing?
Flipping more bikes. I don't know. I'm just like absolutely addicted to Trials, and I am thinking about picking up Trials Fusion and Evolution. I'm thinking about picking up Fusion any % now.
Ooh.
It seems like a really, really fun run.
You're going down that deep hole, that dark hole every week. You keep mentioning how you're not that good, or like
I can't help it,
messing around with it, and every week goes by, it sounds more and more like you're actually going to start running it.
Well, I've gotten a couple of times pretty low. I'm currently, somebody just got between me and number 1 again on one of the tracks, Rocky Road. I'm at 19th place on the PC version overall.
Nice.
Currently trying to push that down to at least 16th, because the 2 guys in front of me are only ahead by like milliseconds. So
yeah,
I'm trying to push that lower and lower. But yeah, I'm really starting to think about like really buckling down and practicing. You only have to do it's like the start through the hard tracks, basically. It ends when the Trials trophy happens. The extremes are after that. So for any %, 100% all plats would probably take me a long time to learn. But either way, I'm strongly considering picking that up as a new speed game. I thought it was going to be Blaster Master, but I don't know. Trials is just that addicting.
Would it be PAL Blaster Master?
Yeah, is that what you're going to
do? No, I was actually going to do the Death Warps run.
Oh, okay.
For the US version, NTSC version. But yeah, I don't know. Trials is just kind of it's got me again. I don't know. I had bought Evo, and that was all she wrote for free time. That's for sure. But other than that, still kind of keeping fresh on Demon Head in the background. I haven't been streaming it much, but just kind of keeping that there. I do want to start going for sub 20 pretty soon.
Nice. All right. Sweet. Okay, so I've been watching a bunch of streams. That doesn't really count. I did commentary for some of Mystery Tournament 5, but we'll talk about that later. Aside from that, as you may have guessed, not a whole lot of running. I've been playing a lot of fighting games again, and pretending I'm good at those. I can't be judged if I'm bad at fighting games, so I just throw that one out there. I booted up 1 for 101 and left it running for about 4 hours and forgot about it. So, yeah. Didn't actually play it, but it looks like I played 4 hours of it, so, you know. That's pretty good. That's pretty good.
Right on.
Right. Our guest, oh boy. I got to try and
We got a
remember what I
list.
did this in. I believe I said Sinister first.
Yes.
What have you been up to, aside from the obvious of being at the Contra Conference?
Well, I haven't been playing many video games, but I did manage
thank God.
to...
Thank God. Now I don't feel so
manage
bad.
to leave my NES on for about a week straight after my last stream, and only discovered this before I left for the Contra
Are
Conference.
you just trying to one-up me? Are you just literally trying to one-up me? Yes.
Get wrecked, Flicky. You got nothing.
Yeah, wow. Geez, I'll sit down. Don't worry.
Take a seat.
No, but other than that, I've been enjoying California. I had some other friends out here I was visiting before I came to the conference, so just having a good time, checking out Venice Beach. That was quite a thing to
Go
see.
pump some iron.
No, but I saw some very, very interesting things and met some very interesting people.
Cool.
So
Hey, so does your NES still work?
it does. I was shocked. I thought that it would just overheat and melt the game inside of it, which happened to be Ninja Gaiden.
Okay, good, because I'm pretty sure I left my Famicom on, and I literally just left state, so hopefully it still works.
Yeah, you should be okay.
All
Yeah,
right.
it's fine. Nintendo's will go forever. I've left them on for weeks before. It really isn't a problem.
How do you accidentally leave a console on for weeks? Like,
It wasn't really accidental. I was just like, yeah, I'm working on this game. I'll come back and do this later. And then a few weeks went by. You know,
You know those Feasel streams, they go forever.
Everybody.
you know it is. You go out, you meet your friends, and before you know it, it's been 6 weeks.
well, I have other Nintendos. This wasn't the streaming Nintendo. This was the other Nintendo in the other part of the house.
Oh,
And
wow.
so I just wasn't by there much.
Okay. All right.
Yeah,
then
but, it's not bad.
I believe
Perfectly
I
safe.
said,
You can put babies inside there too. It's perfectly safe for them.
and just drop them
Pets.
down the stairs, and they'll be
Yep.
fine. So
Completely safe.
you just push them in, and they pop out, and then just blow on their hair or something, and they're
Yeah, the
working
crystal
again.
skull effect.
Viewers, don't try this at home.
All right. I believe next, I said Mr. K. So,
Hello.
yeah, what have you been up to? Have you got a nice recap for us without possibly a snarky insult that you usually use on me, which makes me feel bad?
Flicky. I have nothing but the warmest, most tender affections for your hosting.
Oh, good. There you go. I'm taking that one. That's going in the diary.
As long as you don't tweet it, it's fine with me.
That's fine.
I've been doing a few things to get ready for the Contra Conference. So Murphigator's coming, so I've been practicing some Neo Contra. And by practicing, I mean just barely learning, but hopefully I'll be able to get the hang of it in not too long. It's not that hard of a game compared to the other Contra games. I've also been working on a little bit of a Double Dragon Advance, so we'll see how that goes. I have no idea what to expect. And I've also been doing some Castlevania 4 research.
Uh-oh.
So
Oh.
Joining the
I feel sorry
Castlevania
for-
4 revolution.
I feel really sorry for all the people who get beaten up by that game on a regular basis.
Yeah. So you're going to take your revenge on their behalf.
He's going to find a way to skip most of the game. Get everyone out of their misery.
Let's whip aggressively.
By revenge, I mean just figure out that certain things that you thought were random really are random, and there's nothing you can do about it. Which is
Or
the
you could
best
be
kind
that-
of revenge.
You could be that guy that gives them an incredibly precise or odd trigger that does, calculate what the randomness is, and then they have to worry about that all the time.
If you whip on this frame, you have
Yeah.
Only this
A
frame.
1 in 5 chance of this happening. All right. Then I think I said Zalad next.
hey, what's up?
What have you been up to? Aside from not rooting the Punch-Out boss in 1 for
Yeah, I
1 like
know,
you
I
promised
know.
me you would.
One of these days, I'll do it. I should probably just get McHazard to do it, to be honest.
If you
He'll find the old
don't
ones.
root that, I'm gonna have to eventually get round to it. You know that, right?
Yeah. So yeah, I've been derusting Contra 4, which is the DS one, for co-op run at the conference. I think I got like a 25 something, which is it's pretty alright. I think I died a couple times, but two player is way different than one player, especially for that game, because you can just collect a bunch of weapons that stack on top of each other, and you get like a bunch of lasers and crush, and things die pretty fast.
Mm-hmm.
And I was doing some Punch Out, I guess, earlier this week, and was fighting Tyson.
Oh,
Pretty alright fight on him, I think.
it was alright.
It was alright.
It's only faster than any other human's ever done it before, but you know, alright.
The other humans suck, right, Zalad?
I don't know about that.
I can see him sheepishly looking to his
God, man,
handle
speedrunners.
right. Like, I don't know which direction it will be. But
I don't know why I love this crew so much, but I do. This is always the same thing. It was alright.
all right.
World record? Nah.
Meh.
Could have been better.
Like, could have been better, to be honest.
All right. Okay, and DK28 then.
Yes, sir.
Good. So far, no wrong names. What have you been up to in this past week-ish?
Well, obviously, being the host, getting the house ready for the Contra Conference, and heaping a lot of love on Mrs. Kong for helping out with a lot of the amenities and stuff like that, and derusting Double Dragon 2 for some shenanigans with Sinister. Contra's always Contra for doing a co-op any percent with Mr. K.
Mm-hmm.
And outside of that, my main project right now has still been Castlevania 4 low percent. And I actually did get a new run last night. I was winding down, believe it or not, by playing Castlevania 4. And so I was off stream, so I'm going to air that and I'll be submitting that to you guys. But it's definitely sub 44, so it knocks a good chunk of time off of the previous run. So it's getting to the point where it's almost submittable. So we're getting there.
All right.
Cool.
Yeah, however you want to wind down. Some people wind down with hours and hours of running RPGs. I've seen the cooldown stream being like a 10-hour Final Fantasy VII run before, so
That's
a hell of a cooldown. Like, I don't know what they did before that, but damn,
Yeah, seriously.
it must have been really intense. But
Well, that was it. I got a new record in a 5-minute long game. It took 2 attempts. Time to cool down.
cool down.
Final
With
Fantasy.
a beer, a takeout pizza, and 10 hours of Final Fantasy VII tech skipping. Of course, there is more to Final Fantasy VII running than that, but that's not important right now. What is important right now
Bam!
is that we have 4 very good runners in
That we do.
one probably very nicely furnished house in a very nice place, probably in California, and they're going to be playing Contra, but they're also going to be playing Double Dragon, right? And also some Metal Slug.
Probably.
Yes.
Probably.
This is correct.
Which, of course, is the 3rd annual Contra Conference.
Correct.
Yes.
Oh my god, I got this number right. Good. I
Don't
thought that 114
mind
was going to blitz me on
The
numbers for the rest of the
backwards
night,
splits here.
but yeah.
Things. Originally, we were going to do records first because Murph was supposed to get in slightly late for the show, but now things have been delayed for Murph, and now I didn't update the splits.
Yeah.
However, I did not reset them, so
It's okay. Don't worry about it. No one's
Just
going to pay
saying.
much attention.
ignore the fact that it's records.
So there
when
you
it's
go.
game of the
So
week.
now, I think Mr. K would be the guy to tell us all about the Contra Conference, seeing as you are its founder, creator, whatever you want to call it.
Yes.
Yes. So, Mr. K, please take it away. Tell us all about this really cool speedrun meetup that happens every year in California.
Sure, yeah. So like I said, I kind of got started during Awesome Games. The situation was a little bit interesting. So kind of what happened was at AGDQ 2012, Herblad and I did a little speedrunning together. Not a whole lot, just a little bit.
Right.
It's not nothing extreme.
Nothing extreme, of course. So we were doing pretty well, but the thing that the thing that happened was we had got what we thought was like an amazing time. We got like a 14:30 something in Contra 3. And so we were so happy because that beat a single player time, and we thought that was just the greatest thing. And then the run, we had to lose it because of some technical difficulties. And I was just really upset because I was just like, when am I ever going to get the chance to have another 2-player Contra speedrun? Like, when is that going to happen? So I was pretty upset. And then kind of got some time passed, and then it was kind of towards Christmas break. I was thinking, why don't we just, Herblat's around and we can get Heidman here. What if we just did co-op Contra speedrunning? What if we had a meetup just to do that? Because the marathons they're fun and all, but I'd like to get a 2-player, because they're 2-player games. So I want to get a time that I can be proud of, that can be not as good as the 1-player runs, but still pretty good. So you can just kind of see what the potential of these games is. And there are very, very few co-op speedruns out there. So we had that event, and it was pretty good, I'd say. During the first conference, we got a 10:06 in the first Contra, which, given the tech at that time, was pretty good. Herblat and I got, I want to say it was a 1350 something, which, handedly beat our old time, which was, pretty good for the time. And then Super C kind of got away, so we were just like, we should have another one, because we didn't get all the runs done. And so we had another one the next August. And it was pretty great. It's just kind of fun because there's no donation incentives. We're all just trying to get out a really good speed run. So we'll reset, we'll be relaxed, we'll be chill. We won't have like a set schedule. And there's no real pressure to do anything. We just want to get the runs done. And that's just kind of what drives the entire event.
It's one of those things that I think a lot of people who are into marathons would be surprised doesn't happen more often. Like, I'm amazed there aren't more meetups where people just get together to do runs together like this. It seems very, natural, pretty successful in the experience too. So this is the third one. You've moved to DK's house this time, right? And you've expanded a bit, a few more games this year. And some different runners too. I know.
There's a couple. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, sorry, I was going to say, I know Heidman was there last time, right?
Yeah, there's a couple of reasons for some of the logistics of that. So I've been the first one we just did kind of out of the condo I was staying at, and we only had 3 people, so that was logistically very feasible. And then, for the next one we had Zallard, he was the only new person. So we could still manage that, but it wasn't, quite as effective. And then this next time, we've got Sinister, we've got Murphigator here as well. So, and we've also got Joe Cool coming by for a bit. So it's way too big to host out of a condo now.
Yeah.
And the other reason for some of the other games is just flat out, we've gotten some of the runs done. So for example, we now have the Super C run that we've done with Heidman, we've now pushed down to 1307. So that can still go down pretty far. That can still get a little bit further, but that's still a pretty good time. And Herblat was actually with me for the summer for Contra. So we did Contra 3, so we got a 1338, which is probably one of the best speedruns I've ever done.
Nice, yeah.
So, and then it's getting a little bit harder to, touch or push down some of the other Contra times. So we thought another effective way to use our time is to branch out to some of the other Contra games. So we've got Murphigator this time to do Neo Contra.
I see. So you're sort of picking what you do based on what needs doing more so than just trying to make sure you revisit the same Contra games every time. It's really about getting work done.
Yeah, that's the idea. Of course, there's new tech discovered for some of the Contra games. So, for example, with the new tech that we have and with some of DK's newfound skills, we'll be going back to the first Contra game. But there hasn't been any major new tech for Contra 3, so we're not going back to that this time.
What kind of time are you thinking for Contra 1, 2 player?
Well, we're running the J version. So
you skip the cutscene, or you skip the level scene.
That saves about 23 seconds.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
About 23 seconds over the NTSC. So we're probably looking at unconverted a time of 9:30 at least. So that would be
Wow,
Like,
so
that'd
sub
be
10
like a
US for sure.
Still a sub 10 US,
Yeah.
yeah.
Wow, 953.
Nice.
Crazy.
Yeah. So
All right,
it's
so
just,
yeah.
I was just
Go
gonna say
on.
it's, we're just like Kay said, branching out because once we get the Contra co-op any percent run done, we're really kind of done with the classic Contras 1 through 3 because we have all the single and co-op and all the categories with any and low percent. So they're really tapped. That's like the last run to do is the Contra co-op any percent.
Right. So yeah, that's what I was going to say. What's the goals for the rest of the event then? So, what if everything went well? What would you guys have done by the end of was it week or however long it is?
Yeah, so as far as the Contra side goes, we're looking to get a Neo Contra speedrun done of a New Game and New Game Plus. And then the next thing is we're going to be trying to do a Contra Rebirth, just the any percent category, I think.
Yeah.
And then an improvement to the Contra 4 speedrun. And that's it for the main Contra series. And then in addition to that, there's some other side stuff that we're doing. So Murphygator and I are going to try to do a co-op Double Dragon Advance run. So, like I said, I have no idea how that's going to go, but we'll see.
Comedically, if the game's any indication. That game is a riot.
All I can say is that there may be flying knee pinball.
I'm completely okay with every word in that sentence.
And in addition to that, DK and Sinister are going to be going after the Double Dragon 2 co-op improvement.
Nice, nice.
And
So
then,
watch out for those ladders, Sinister.
Will do.
And you may see some Metal Slug shenanigans as well with Joe Cool and Mike Uyama. And then Joe Cool and I will probably also be doing a little bit of Contra 3, but just tackling the easy category since there is no run of that yet, just to see what we can do just for fun. So we still got plenty on the plate.
Oh, did I not mention that? How careless of me.
How careless of
Oh.
you. There is only one difficulty. So,
All right,
that,
cool.
Now, I do understand that there may be a very interesting co-op game being played. Matter of fact, it was just recently being played. Something about Red Falcon taking revenge. I don't know. It's something like that.
yeah, there will probably be a lot of pain, but that will be played.
That's dessert. We got to finish the main course first.
Good.
Good. That must be beaten now. But with that note, I am going to step out. I have to go hit up LAX and grab one Murphygator. So
One Murphygator, please.
Yeah, I got a Murphygator with a side of bad fighting games, please.
Yeah.
All right.
One Mike Uyama will be in a couple hours after this. So
Fantastic.
everyone en route.
Yeah.
Alrighty, DK. Drive safe. I'll
All
see you in a bit.
See you
soon.
All right. So now I'm assuming, obviously you guys have been preparing this all individually. Like everyone's been practicing their own games. Have you been playing net play together at all? Or you're just literally practicing on your own? Is everyone showing up and they've got, all right, dude, I've got this great idea. We need to do this now. Or like, what's been happening setup wise? Yeah.
There's a lot of routing on the fly, especially like with the last conference. Like even when we were just doing like Contra 4, like we had to rethink everything about like what weapons do we want? Does this work on this boss? Is this a good way to do this? You know, because we had a lot of ideas before, and then when we met up and tested them, like none of them worked. So it's like we had to basically scrap a lot of that and just kind of work with what we had.
Yeah, I think that goes back to your answer to Flicky's question about kind of whether it's a marathon setup or anything like that. I think that's like really cool is that you get to see not just good Contra speedruns here, but you actually get to see y'all testing tech, figuring out what's going to work, what isn't going to work. Whether your concepts were good prior or are bad prior. So you kind of it's like a completely different type of event, and it's really neat. But to Flicky's point, why that doesn't happen more often, I'd imagine because like speedrunners of certain games don't all necessarily live in the same area. So
yeah. Well, I know I'm not too certain about your living situations, but I mean, my knowledge of the geography of the United States states that Maryland is not that close to California.
Just slightly.
These guys really live that near to each other either.
By one United States, no.
So it's obviously something people are willing to travel over towards. I mean, Sinister, you live over on the east.
Yeah,
He's close enough to the east coast.
Yep.
Uyama too. I'm not sure where Murph lives, but
Iowa.
Iowa.
It's only a few Great Britons away for each of the
Right.
players.
Several Great Britons if you're going width-wise. There's a lot of Great Britons in that distance.
For the sake of Great Britain not having to do too much math, we'll just twist it to the right a little bit, about 90 degrees, and let you go that way.
Yeah, I don't know. I think there's 4 or 5 Great Britons in Texas alone. So
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, but on one of Flicky's notes, you guys are streaming it though, so that is something in common with a marathon. So what kind of why are you streaming it, and what kind of content do you expect to present on stream?
Yeah, that's a good question. There's a couple other things I wanted to mention about the routing, if I may. Just
go for
talk
it.
about that a little bit more in detail. So we put in about, during the first conference, Super C co-op was the run that got away from us. We put in about, I would say, like at least 600 attempts into Super C.
Sounds about right, yeah.
And that game was just crushing us co-op. And then during the second conference, like, we wanted to make sure we got that done.
I know what you're about to lead into.
And kind of by accident, we discovered that if you have one player at the very edge, left side of the screen, that enemies don't spawn randomly. And so we just stumbled on that new bit of tech that we had no idea existed, and that's actually what made the runs possible. So we were able to, in addition to getting the any percent category done, we were able to get the low percent category done, which Heidman swore was impossible to do, and we got it done. We got a really good time on it too. And that's just, you have no idea what you're going to find when you're routing these games. And so, I mean, kind of the way it goes is that we'll try something and then we'll see if it works. And then we'll talk about it, or we'll argue about it. And then like a day will pass. And then we'll wake up the next morning and you're like, what about this? And then we'll try it, and then it'll just come together. And that's really the magic of it, is just having a group of people together to talk about the runs and the routes. You never see like that much routing happening in such a short span of time in speedrunning ever. At least I haven't.
Yeah.
I would say as well, it's probably for the viewers going to be one of the rare occasions to actually see like a full approach to a game from, okay, we've not really run this before in co-op setting, to we're going to actually make a SDA quality run in such a short period of time. Like, I can imagine that'd be very interesting to see like your process and how you're actually going about it too.
Yeah, it's entirely unique. I said, there's nothing I've ever seen that's remotely like it. So it's a really interesting experience. Kind of what we do is that we're going to try to stream as much as possible. So it's going to be a little bit of a consternation to our viewership, because they're going to be like, what are you doing when? And how many hours are you going to be streaming for? And
yeah, when I was hanging out in the
Marvel and all that.
Yeah, when I was hanging out in the channel before the show, there were a ton of people asking, "Where can I see the schedule? What games are you going to play? When is it happening?" It's like, well, there ain't one, but it's kind of neat.
So we do have a website for the conference, which can be linked in the chat, or if I can pull it up.
Yeah, I could.
Yeah, you won't get banned, so don't worry. Throw it in there.
So someone might have it handy. So kind of the idea, how we schedule it, is that there's certain stuff that we need to get done at a certain time. So for example, Murphigator is here, and so I can only do co-op Neo Contra when Murphigator is here. And so that run takes, higher priority. That'll take higher priority than like co-op Contra any percent, because DK and I live pretty close to each other. So we can come back to that if we need to, whereas Murphigator being on the other side of the country, I'm gonna give that run a little bit more priority than the other runs do. And then we kind of get, the other thing is that as we kind of run the games, we get a little bit of an idea of like how much work it's going to be. And so we get some of the other, I don't want to say like easier, but not as time intensive runs done. And then we shift some of the more straining runs over to the end. If that makes sense.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Okay. I want to know another thing, and I'm going to ask this for previous years because you probably haven't planned this out. So, what's like a normal day at the Contra Conference like for you guys? Like, because I can only think Korean pro gaming team houses, which I imagine it's probably not quite like that.
Let's see. So I usually wake up about 7:30, and I'll be strategizing for an hour and a half or so, and then most other people will roll out of bed at like 9 or 9:30, 10.
Yeah, usually the good morning is replaced with like, hey, I have some strats that we need to try.
Yeah. Pretty much.
Dude,
So-
this came to me in a dream, right?
I need some
That's,
coffee. No strats first, please.
Yeah, I remember during the first one, it was like, Hyman woke up and I was like, I got these strats. And he's like, no, I've got to piss. Just let me go to the bathroom.
Morning, honey. I got you some strats.
Oh, you're the best, hon.
So we'll grind it out, and then it'll be like 11, and then we're like, yeah, we should probably eat breakfast. Yeah. You know,
Not
just
so
to
important.
keep up the blood sugar, right? Because that's the only reason why we eat, is to maintain blood
right.
sugar.
Yeah.
Because, you know, your brain needs carbohydrates. But that's the only reason.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And, yeah, we'll grind out for a little while, and then we'll take a lunch break. And maybe we'll, I don't know, we'll watch some Netflix or something for like,
Yeah, that happens sometimes.
Yeah.
and then we'll be really lazy, and then people will start to bug us like, when are you gonna start the stream again? And we're like, all right. And then
Okay.
around 2 or so, and then we'll go for a little while, and then we'll have dinner, and then we'll probably stream again until, I don't know, 2 in the morning.
Yeah. Well, it depends. Like, I mean, even with like last time, like, Hyman didn't really go to sleep. He just kept doing like hardcore. I think like when we woke up, he was starting to get tired. It was pretty late when he stopped, regardless.
Well, I was impressed at I normally wake up at about 7:30. I was shocked by that.
What kind of speedrunner are you?
Yeah.
Bet at a
What kind
reasonable
of
time.
adult job-having speedrunner are you? Get out of here.
Yeah, they're a little bit tough for me because I'm kind of the guy that does all the Contra games. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, I'm super competitive in Contra 3,
Mhm.
but I'm good enough to do co-op in all of the other Contra games, pretty much, or at least I will be for the games I'm not.
Yeah.
So I'm pretty much like always on.
So, do you guys ever have more than two people for a particular game? Like maybe one person who has his choice of partners depending on who's awake and around, or do you guys pretty much just decide you guys are going to work on this, I'm going to work on this, etc., and then kind of go with that?
Is it like a Contra speedrunning harem, or is it more like a marriage? I think is what Fiesel's trying to ask.
It's more like a marriage. It's a committed relationship. DK can do Contra and Contra 3.
Mm-hmm.
And he's the only one who really does 2 games. Herblat did a little bit of Contra 1 and Contra 3 too, but outside of that, I'm the only one that runs all the other games. So
So you don't get much of a break, huh?
I really don't get a break.
All right.
when you're rooting as well, so what I'm wondering, is it like 3 or 4 of you sitting around like sharing ideas, or is it literally like the 2 of the guys running the game are doing that, and then the other guys who are working on something else go work on their own thing independently? Or
You know, we've had a lot of people just to bounce ideas off of because we've all speedrun Contra in some capacity at some point. So, you know, if something sounds good, it's like, oh, well, wait, can you try this? Can you try that?
Yeah, someone will be sitting in front of the computer just checking on the recording, looking for drop frames or anything like that, and they'll also be doing splits, and then they'll be looking at the recording, they'll be looking at the preview of the recording so they can see like, hey, this worked or this is not working, right? Notice, hey, you're dying here a lot, you know, do this differently. It's like when we were doing Contra 4 in the base 1.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so we had we were both on like 2 sides of the base stage, and typically we kill the cores on both sides, but there's also dudes that shoot at us, and for some reason like a bullet that I've never seen before killed me, and it ruined an attempt. So what happened was Hyman was watching, and he was like, hey, Mr. K was on your half of the screen, so the bullet was chasing him, which led the bullet into you instead of where it was supposed to go. So it's just like little adjustments like that increase the consistency of our runs.
I see. Having some eyes on it that aren't busy doing the speed run itself, I can see how that would be helpful for finding things like that.
Yeah. And you really need eyes because there's twice as much to pay attention to with a co-op run.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because if you start watching what the other guy's doing, you're pretty much giving the run up at that point. So,
well, yeah,
you got to be hard focused on what you're doing, and if what the other guy is doing is about to affect what's happening to you, you might not catch it. So yeah, I can see where that would be huge to have like a third set of eyes just intently watching the run, like trying to see what both players are doing at the same time and such.
Yeah, you always just tend to pay attention to your half, and you don't see like how what you do interacts like what's going on for the other person.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. So you guys discover a lot of glitches or things that wouldn't show up in one player, but two player, it's just a whole new ball game. So new things just show up. Because I've noticed that when I watch people playing games together at GDQs, people tend to find a lot of stuff they've never seen before, just because they're sort of playing it in a different context. There's new people thrown in the mix, things like that.
Yeah, we've discovered some interesting things. So the Super C thing I've already mentioned, like we had no idea. But there's been other stuff too. So we sort of learned like how the damage works for the different Contra games. So in the first game, for example, every single enemy that can take multiple hits to kill can only take 1 damage per frame, and that's a hard limit. So if both of your shots hit at the exact same time, you're not going to be doing any extra damage. Which is like different from like Contra 3, where it calculates one person's damage on one frame and the other person's damage on the other frame. So that pretty much means like you're doing effectively twice as much damage if you have 2 people. So stuff dies like insanely fast. So you learn the mechanics a lot better when you're doing it 2 people, and you learn some of the interesting things. You become like intimately familiar with how the game lags, which is I think one of the really interesting things. Like it's another incentive to run on console or to pick like a really accurate emulator is to try to preserve that, and the strategy you have to work around to minimize it.
Right, that's true. I mean, lag is definitely a big issue. Which Contra games do you think are most susceptible to lag, or which ones do you really have to be aware of?
Contra Force?
Contra Force, okay.
That seemed like that was a pretty good answer to that question.
That was definitely the front runner of that.
Yeah, I was gonna say, for a second there I thought it was just going to be yes, Contra games in general, but yeah.
And
we have a clear
about
victor.
Like slowdown, right? Not like sprite flickering or anything like that. Like actual lag.
The Alien War, the Game Boy port of Contra 3 lags more though, but it lags so much and so consistently that you mistake it for its actual native frame rate.
Oh, I played a couple of games like that as well. No, it just slows down when you do that attack. It's just how the game works.
Yeah, well, that's how I thought about all Nintendo games when I was a kid. I didn't realize what was really happening. I'm just like, oh, okay, the game is always slow at this point.
Well, as a person who played on PAL, the game's never really lagged, so I didn't even know.
Yeah,
the game wants to pay special attention to this part.
Yeah. No, I just
Mega Man 6, like I think it's 6 or 5. Like during the weapon get cutscene, literally every frame is a lag frame.
Well, let me tell you about lag frames now. The Demon Head menu, every other frame is a lag frame whenever I'm in the menu, so it tends to drop half your inputs. But there's times where I wonder why I picked that as a speed game, but I still love it. Either way, though.
You're going through the exact same thing. If you want to wonder why you picked it, you just write down everything you think about Trials for the next few weeks.
That's very true. No, but I remember being a kid that the same thing. It's like, oh, games just do that. They slow down.
It's like a slow mo scene in an action movie. A bunch of stuff is happening. It's
just really cool.
So you really appreciate it.
But I think it's funny how nowadays it's like gamers have grown up and they know what's actually happening. So now when a modern game comes out, if it lags, like if it drops a single frame, this is the worst fucking game ever. 1 out of 10. Games
unless they play console and then they don't know if it's lagging or not.
Either way,
24.
I just think it's funny how that's evolved into like,
yeah.
Speedrunners are like, okay, so it lags. How can I fix that?
Yeah.
How can I manage all the enemies on screen and make it not do so? But back in the day, we just accepted it. That's how the game works.
Something I wanted to ask. Now, I have my own theories about this, but you don't want to hear them because they're probably not as good. I want to ask because all of you guys, as far as I know, have done or will be doing co-op runs together. So it's kind of a rare but wonderful thing as the co-op speedrun. Now, I just want to know what all of you guys really think about doing co-op speedruns and how you go about doing them with each other and inevitable, not arguments, but sort of like the odd snapping at one another, I guess would be the way to put it. Because I know all of you, I know Sinister's run Double Dragon co-op in the past. Kay's obviously done a bunch of co-op runs. DK and Cave co-oped Contra 1 together, right, in the past?
It gets a little snappy sometimes, when Jay Prophet and I, we used to run Double Dragon 2, because we're kind of close friends anyway before speedrunning, so, somebody misses a knee and it's like, come on, man, what the hell was that? You gotta hit that knee, like, like we would get on each other and, we'd have to kind of take breaks sometime to cool off and, but ultimately it's very fun, very gratifying. You can get a run done with a friend, so it's worth it. It's all worth it in the end.
I think so. I think it's a lot more motivating too. It seems a lot less like work, I just probably not the best way of putting it, but I don't know how it is at the Contra Conference. To me, it's always felt less like work when it's like you're just casually playing with your friends anyway. You just happen to be speedrunning.
I could see that.
Hey, does your controller have an A button? Yeah. Well, press it.
What the fuck?
Right. Well, speedrunners are so hard on themselves, when they screw up something and it's all their fault. They're like, oh, damn, I'm such an idiot. God, what's wrong with me today? Nothing worked. I can't imagine when you throw another person in and they're making just as many mistakes as you are. Like, you're suddenly nice to them and a jerk to yourself. I just couldn't believe it.
Right. See,
it's probably the case.
Our solution in Left 4 Dead was just to blame randomness for anything, even if we knew it was someone else's fault.
God,
that was the solution, the scapegoat.
It didn't jump, it was RNG.
Yeah, so just blame the game.
I don't know. I like the old controller excuse from when you were a kid. Man, if Mario would just jump when I push the fucking button.
Yeah.
God.
I find myself on occasion making those excuses now and knowing full well that they're
exactly. That's a complete execution error. Yeah, it was the game's fault.
Dude, how did I?
My controller's busted.
Press anything? Oh, okay. Well, I must have done. Computers don't randomly decide on inputs not often.
Yeah, that depends on the game you're playing.
There's one person that has a lot more responsibility than the other person, so
that's true.
Pressure on them. Like when Fiesel and I did Rescue Rangers, he had the majority of the responsibility. So he'd feel pressure of like, okay, I gotta nail this damage boost. And there was one boost that I think that you were wanting to omit. Do you remember that?
At the end of the bowling balls?
Yeah.
The one that I never thought I would get right?
I had to really talk him into it because he hit it like every time, but he was like, I'm so nervous on that boost.
Well, it felt like the last time every time. It felt like the very last time I would get it. I don't know I can't explain it.
Are any of the Contra games like that? Because that's actually a really good point, Sinister. It's like a lot of co-op runs, all the co-op runs I've done, everyone has different jobs and some are more important than others, or someone's doing the bulk of the work. Like, are the Contras like that so much?
Yeah, actually, almost every Contra is like that because you have at least one vertical section where one player kills themselves and the other player pretty much does the entire stage. So there is a lot more responsibility on that player to get that run out.
And the general reason behind that is, like, can you explain that for the folks?
It's just a thing with Contra games. Like, when one player jumps, like, the entire screen scrolls up, and if you're caught on the bottom of the screen, you die. And some of the games don't really handle that too well. Like with Contra 1, isn't it like if you jump and then the other person tries to jump, sometimes it just drops that.
You can cancel each other's jumps. You can also cause someone to fall through a platform, like just straight up fall through.
Yeah.
You're also just making like each other's jump heights like super random. Like it goes super high or super low on the first game.
So also in Contra games, if I'm not mistaken, in two-player mode, typically one player will spawn like on a different position than the other. Does that determine which player has which responsibilities?
Yeah, so like in the first Contra, like in Waterfall, like if you started perfectly in sync and like two people were like really good, they could stay kind of in sync, but the game doesn't spawn both characters in sync. In Super C, it's a little bit easier. Like the game's doesn't have like the wonky climbing mechanic, but the positions of the snipers mean that if you're not perfectly synced up, then one player is gonna die, and that becomes a real pain for the climb in Area 5.
I see.
And then Contra 3.
No, go on.
Contra 3, two really good players can stay in sync for the climb, but the lag is just unmanageable. So you got to kill the player off.
Yeah, one less sprite, one less shooter.
Yeah, right. And you steal lives to come back in.
Yeah.
Is there more lag all over the place, or is it really mostly just waterfall? I mean, like, why wouldn't you just do that everywhere? Do you have X number of continues, or X number of lives or whatever? Use every single one of them to have one player die and then come back at the end when you need them for the boss?
So in Contra, it's not quite that simple because, as I mentioned, bosses can only take 1 damage per frame.
Right.
So having the extra set of guns doesn't really help too much. Where you really want the other players in the base stages, like that's where you stand to gain the most time. But to be able to do those base stages effectively, you need to have the R weapon upgrade, and you can't get that in the base rooms because the enemy that drops it takes too long to appear. Yeah. So you have to have gotten it in the previous level. So that's where you're a bit more committed to keeping the other player alive for a certain amount of time.
Okay. I could see that. What about for some of these other Contra games? What else do you die and steal lives?
I mean, you got to do it to avoid, like, the stage 3 climb is just obnoxious. So there's 17 seconds of lag that you can avoid by killing the other person off. Wow. So there's just no way around it.
Yeah, that's pretty significant.
The one thing I wanted to mention, though, about, like, the different roles in that is it was actually, like, during the first conference, I actually had a huge struggle doing Contra and Super C co-op. Because, like, Contra 3 is my game, and I've been playing that forever. So I'm, like, super comfortable with it. But then it was just, like, I just barely learned the game, and I learned it for the specific purpose of, like, doing co-op. So, like, I couldn't get spread rhythm. I still can't really get spread rhythm to this day. But I know the game, and I'm okay. But I felt, like, really, really inadequate running Contra and Super C with Heidman. And I was just like, can I do this? Because people who were watching were just like, is that second player? Is he new? Like, does he, like, do Contra games? And I was just like, crap. And it just took me a while to get over because I just had to deal with the fact that I was just never going to be, like, as experienced at Contra as, like, or Super C as Heidman was, or as, DK now is for Contra. And so, but as we kind of just started, like, planning it out, we started to realize that, like, having both players, like, be really good with spread was actually, like, not the best thing for the run. And so then once we got to that point, then I realized, like, I could find my niche. And if I could find my niche and do my job to where the run could actually end up being faster, then that's all that I needed to do, and I was able to kind of deal with it. But it's still rough because, like, when I'm doing co-op Contra attempts, player 1, which is not me, is, like, working really hard and mashing like crazy to get spread rhythm. And so if I make a mistake, then that means we have to reset, and either DK or Heidman at the time, like, has to, like, bust his arm again to go through those base stages to get spread rhythm again. It's like every mistake I make makes the other person go through so much. And so I feel bad. Like, I want to...
That sounds pretty horrible, actually.
Yeah, that sounds pretty motivating, though.
So, sorry your right arm doesn't work anymore, but screwed up on stage 4 again. So I can see where that definitely become detrimental.
DK's wife that, then, I guess. Saying, yeah, the reason your husband can't type anymore and can't work is, well...
Yeah, well...
I kept screwing up. Oops.
The stage 5 boss, I'm just telling you. It's crazy.
Yeah.
It's so that's kind of, like, tough in that respect. So it's a little bit tough because it's very often the case that both people, when they're doing a co-op speedrun, are not at the same skill level, and so that's a bit of a challenge to overcome. But we've had enough experience to be able to get there.
I say y'all have done a good job so far. So
yeah.
So we get a little bit better each year. So our goal, like, for the original Contra is to be, like, so much better that it's untouchable with one player. That's kind of where we want it to be. Like, Contra 3 is, like, untouchable. Like, one player will never, ever, ever be as good as 2 in that category.
No, 4 times the crash. How can you beat it?
And that's kind of the beauty of, like, when we do it right, you get to see something about the game that you will never see with just one person, and that's kind of what we're going for. Is the games have, like, untapped potential for speedrunning that you just never get to see because of the logistics of it all.
Yeah, until they invent lagless online play across the planet.
Yeah, as I say,
It's not going to happen. Yeah.
Yeah, until you get stuff to travel faster than the speed of light, right?
Right.
It's, maybe.
Like video games, because clearly
Right.
that's the most important application.
Come on,
perhaps, but I don't know that medicine thing.
There are plenty of advances they make in video games that then they've realized they could use elsewhere. It's like when they realized that PS3s were better at calculating, folding protein patterns than many computers are. It's how it works. People pay for it. Look, all the advances mobile phones have bought the world. Purely because people want to be able to watch YouTube wherever they are.
I was gonna say, now I can text my friends all the time.
Yeah, yeah.
It's a bit of a mixed bag. So like some games, like PJ and I actually learned Pocky and Rocky on ZSNES NetPlay, if you can believe that.
Yeah.
No, I don't, because PJ and the internet working just kind of blows my mind. But I'll let it slide this time.
But that's the kind of game where like you can get away with like having a little bit of a delay, but like Contra games on NetPlay just don't work. Like Hyman and I tried it with Super C, and just was not happening.
Contra just seems way too precise for any kind of input latency.
Too fast, man. It's too fast.
Yeah, and that's the thing about the Contra games is that they're not. I mean, a lot of games will have things like frame perfect inputs, and Contra games really aren't like that. But they're about being able to make quick decisions and react and adapt to situations spontaneously, and that's
and if you've got 50 milliseconds of lag or something like that, or even 100 milliseconds of lag going in between you, there's no way you're going to be able to react.
Yeah, I'm thinking of like the energy zone boss when you're crouching in front of him and then he starts to move. Like that's one that always killed me when I tried to play that on emulator as opposed to console. It's because it's like the amount of time you have to make that decision's cut in half, and it's got to be even worse on NetPlay, completely unusable. So.
Yeah, the emulate's difference really different. I remember playing Mario World at AGDQ and doing the stage 2, just a quick jump off the question block.
Oh yeah, that's the telltale one right there. Yeah.
Yeah, and going home and trying it on emulator, and it was really hard. On console, it was fine. On emulator, it was really difficult.
Yeah, once you get rid of the CRT and add, the latency of an HDMI TV,
and all that,
you're screwed.
It's technically stage 3, but we'll let it slide.
There you go, Duckfist on point.
Stage 3? Yeah.
Yoshi's Island 3.
But yeah,
it's 1-3. Yeah, it'll be the second level you do, though, right?
Right.
Maybe.
Well, it depends which way you're going, but yeah.
By the way, yeah, that's why I ended up buying a power pack over doing emulator practice for Demon Head. I just could not. There's way too many like tight inputs for jumps in that game, and emulator was like just screwing me up and making me play worse when I shifted over to the console. So yeah, I can't see doing that in Contra, not by any means.
And that's the other thing is that like this time around we've got Power Pack and Game Saver, so that's going to be like a tremendous help to us, which we didn't have for the first few.
Cool. Wow.
Until you're getting distracted by random ROMs that you've got on it.
Mm-hmm. Distracted by ROM hacks.
Try to be as disciplined as possible with that.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's kind of the beauty of speedrunning Contra games is that instead of just like trying to grind out a trick, like a particular maneuver, what you're actually doing is you play more as that you're training yourself to be able to react to situations spontaneously. So like in stage 5, for example, you learn by dying a bajillion times what the hitbox is and how the enemies move, and so you kind of know, okay, I can juke around them this way, and you get to be really good at it to the point where you just do it without thinking. And that's like the real beauty of Contra 3 speedrunning, is to be able to make those snap decisions. So like you could go in there and say like, oh, this is frame perfect or whatever, but it's really, that's not where the beauty is. The beauty is just being able to adapt to the randomness of the games, because Contra games have boatloads of randomness, and it's never going to be the same playthrough twice. So
yeah, I'd imagine that's where having like just that instinctive knowledge of the mechanics of the game come into absolute play. Like I remember you guys were mentioning DK's quote about when you jump, you made a commitment. Basically, you put an engagement ring, because you always have the same jump height, the same jump arc, the same, or not necessarily arc, but you know what I mean. It's like it's always the same height. You don't have like short jumps and tall jumps and all that jazz like some other games have. So it's pretty much you hit the jump button, you better be able to like juke in midair if a shot comes the wrong way or something like that, and you got to be able to like notice that that's going to happen, react accordingly, like lightning quick. So yeah, just I'd imagine a basic familiarity with the mechanics, or not even a basic, but an intimate familiarity with the mechanics is like extremely important.
Yeah, the mechanics and the hitboxes, and then, you know, the two-player has, of course, its own mechanics, right? So if you get, like, too far away from each other, you know, there's an invisible wall that you can't pass. And so you have to know, like, when that invisible wall is going to hit for the other person. And so, like, in Super C, for example, there's plenty of spots where you drop down. So if you're too far away, you can actually create a pit for the other person when the screen scrolls down. Like, if you're too far away, the screen scrolling down area just becomes like a bottomless pit that you die in. So
That's
it's
no
rough.
good.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely rough.
All right. Are there any other little country bits? Obviously, I would like to give my I'd like a message when the Metal Slug starts. If I could get one of those ordered. I've been told that you're not allowed to mention the website that begins with T and ends in R that would help me with this information. But if there's some other way I could get this sent to me, that'd be great. And maybe a guide about how to run Metal Slug would be very handy too. But are there any other Contra Conference based things?
Look, they're not doing their homework. They're not doing your homework for them.
Before we move on to records.
Zell, do you want to, or Sinister?
I think we covered everything mostly.
Can I ask about some of the specific games that you're doing? Okay, you mentioned Contra 1, and you guys are hoping to... Who's going to be doing Contra 1 this time?
So DK and I will be doing Contra 1.
Okay. And you said you're hoping to get, you know, whatever it's 1053 or 953 minus the Japanese time difference. Right. And what else? What else are you going to be doing?
So the next thing we'll be doing is we're hoping for Neo Contra.
Neo Contra. Who's doing that one?
We haven't routed. So Neo Contra is the PS2. It's the top-down 3D.
Oh, okay. I see.
I'm actually not super familiar with the co-op route of it enough to be able to give a time estimate. Murphy here, if he'd be able to speak to that a bit more. But it's going to be significantly faster than the one player.
All right, cool. You doing Super C this time?
Heidman is not here, and we need him to do Super C.
Oh yeah. Okay, that makes sense. And then Contra 4, right? That's on the the agenda.
That's going to be me and Mr. K for co-op.
Any particular goal for that besides just crushing the previous run?
Our last run was pretty good up until like stages 8 and 9. And then a couple of things didn't go so great, but it was faster than the one player run by quite a bit. But we can do better. So
all right,
that is the goal.
There'll be some non-Contra gaming as well.
Double Dragon sub-conference.
Yeah, DK28 and I are going to try to cut the 11 in Double Dragon 2 co-op.
Awesome.
And then Zallard and I are being forced against our wills to race Mike Tyson's Punch-Out.
Oh boy!
I was gonna say, I thought there might be some races of that.
Seems like a legit race.
And if possible, Mike Uyama might get to try to get the salty run back versus me in Turtles in Time.
Oh boy.
So definitely defeated him in Summer Games Done Quick 2014, but I'm not sure that we have 2 TMNT4 carts, so I don't know if that'll actually happen. You may get a terrible co-op run, which is
likely excuse.
Yeah.
I just want to say that the Mike Tyson's Punch-Out race will be moderated by King Hippo and Suda Popinski.
Can't wait to see what happens when one guy's fighter gets up on an 8 and the other one gets up on a 3.
Yeah, that's going to be a thing. That'll happen.
All right, so the marathon, well, sorry, not marathon, my bad. The conference, the meetup, stream, whatever, is going to be running from today. It started today, it's first day.
Yeah.
And it's going for a full week, so until next Sunday, is it then?
That's right.
And I've got the links in chat. Twitch is going to be Twitch TV/DK28, doing it on DK's channel. And then there's the link there, the kharvey.squarespace.com/the-contra-conference.
Yeah, don't type it out, just click it. Or bookmark it.
Yeah, I mean, it's in case anybody is watching the VOD and wants to check out that website.
Well, give it a second. There's going to be a real big one up on the screen, too.
Oh, boy. There you go.
The reason, I did the website, basically it's got an embed of the Google Doc, which is going to have our schedule. and it's got, an embed of the stream and Twitch chat. So if you watch it in there, it'll be a little bit easier to keep on top of everything.
All right. I'm just a bit excited because it's the first time I've seen Squarespace used. I always hear about it. There's like a few podcasts that are sponsored by Squarespace, and they talk about Squarespace a lot, and I've never actually seen a Squarespace website before, so I was a bit excited about that.
It's a functioning website. I don't know any HTML, but the website works, so for that I'm very grateful.
Yeah, does it for it. How did this get made? Podcast with Paul Scheer. That's where I found out about it, so there you go. So, I'm excited.
Mm-hmm.
All I need now is somebody who has an Audible book to step forward, and then I'm done on that. All right. Should we move on to records? Are you guys sticking around for a bit, or are you going to go off and do something fun?
They got work to do, I bet.
They got work to do? I don't know. They're welcome to stay if they wish to, but if you'd like to go do something more important or less important, depending.
I would say it's more important. Crushing. Certain games that need crushing.
We should probably do some runs or something.
It's up to y'all.
Yeah, we've got, we do have some logistics to take care of. We'll do a couple records, though.
Yeah, we
All right, cool.
Okay.
All right.
Okay,
Cool.
you
Well,
can
yeah,
do
feel free to just drop out
We'll do,
whenever
like-
you like.
Yeah,
Just let us know when you're headed out, so we say goodbye.
warm up.
5. All right.
Let's do. We'll do a page. How's that?
We'll do page.
Do a
Page,
page. All right.
You can get them. Oh, okay. Well, you can't get you can get some of these. But the first
So you can't get the first one because the first one
The first one's Duckfist. So
just might happen to have the expert here. Hey, scene. It's time to change. Like
there you
that.
go.
Okay, is it up? Are we ready?
Oh, we are ready. I'm starting a highlight reel for it right now.
Nice.
So far behind. So.
All right, so this is Battle Kid 2 Mountain of Torment, normal mode, in an hour, 4 minutes, and 1 second by myself. So this is a pretty sweet homebrew game for the NES, made by Sivak, who did almost everything in the game, made the music, did a lot of the graphics, did all the programming and design, and it's a fantastic game. So these are kind of reminiscent of I Want to Be the Guy. In my opinion, it's executed way better, and it feels way better than any of those games. And it's really good. I don't know what it is, but I never really enjoyed I Want to Be the Guy, but this game just like nails it. It's just a really cool precision platformer combined with like run and gun Metroidvania style. And it's really difficult. Like, it's based around trial and error. It's always about trying to get to the next checkpoint.
I was going to ask if there were like, just kind of bullshit that attacks you because, yeah, that is pretty much the guy as the main character there.
Yeah, well, unfortunately, unlike I Want to Be the Guy, there's nothing cheap. So there's nothing that just flies out and kills you.
Okay.
It's all relatively fair. But in any case, it's a really good game. And so this beats the previous record by a little over 10 minutes, which was held by Ireland of Endor.
Nicely done.
And there's not a whole lot of there's pretty much no glitches in this game. It's just all about minimizing your deaths. I had 5 relatively short deaths in the game, and which is pretty good for a really long game. And one-hit kills everywhere. Particularly the boss fights are really difficult to get down. When you play them for the first time, you'll die 20, 30 times against a boss before you start to get its patterns down. So being able to summon up all the boss's patterns on the fly and not die is pretty tough. But so yeah, I first played this game about 3 weeks ago during a blind race, and I think I did well, and I enjoyed it a lot when I played it, and I was like, kind of want to check this out, kind of run.
I wasn't sure if you was playing because correct me if I'm wrong, but I saw a message from you saying you got like a time and you were happy with it, and you weren't really gonna run it anymore, but you've since improved that time, so I'm guessing that didn't stick, or was that a different Battle Kid?
That might have been the previous one, but I have said that about this particular time, not about the previous ones for Battle Kid 2. And I don't know, I actually might do another recording of this just because mine kind of got the audio screwed up a little bit, but yeah, so the highlight you saw was the final boss fight, which was the best I've ever done on the final boss, actually. It was like the best pattern, and I just completely destroyed it. So the game's really like mashing intensive, and I like those kind of games. And Yeah, it's just a really good game. I'll tell you what, like the music in this game is so good. This music is amazing. I can't believe like the programmer designer also wrote all the music, and it's really good.
Cool.
Like just some seriously good NES like chip tunes. So I highly recommend this game. It's a lot of fun. Requires a lot of patience and determination to be able to finish it though, but it's very rewarding. And I'll just throw out, I really expect Spiriax, the Battle Kid 1 champ, to take this time once he fixes his controller or something and starts applying himself to it. I'm sure he'll take it. So I mean, to beat this, you'll have to get either under the amount of deaths that I had, or you're pretty much going to have to die less than me. That's the only way to do it.
Nice.
Because I had relatively good play and luck. But yeah, it's pretty solid, and I enjoy it. I think it'll come down to about 101, maybe sub-hour with like a perfect deathless run. But I don't think a whole lot more time could come off this, to be quite honest.
Nice. All right.
But yeah, normal. Also, just real quick, normal is the same as like very hard and unfair. It's just that those difficulties to be less continues. But it's the same damage. Right, There's easy mode that gives you 3 HP, but normal mode and the rest, it's practically the same.
So once you get better at the game and don't die, it's not going to matter what difficulty you're playing on.
Right. So like serious world record attempts, like eventually is going to be unfair mode no matter what. You want to go for no save points, and you want to never die, basically. So that might as well be fair mode.
Sounds like a game I'm never going to play because I'm too scared of that.
Actually, nobody has beaten this game on unfair mode before, I believe. I think that's untouched. But on Battle Kid 1, there's like 3 people who have beaten it on unfair, in addition to the creator.
Damn.
So, just real quick, isn't this the game that Dexter like took a hammer to?
Yeah. So I should have actually submitted that instead of my highlight reel. But yeah, during the blind race, after the first 6 Guardian bosses, it's kind of Mega Man-ish, where you explore this castle and defeat these bosses, and then go into this final area thing. So after defeating the bosses, you have to go around and find a bunch of shit. So it's if you didn't know where you missed stuff, it can be kind of confusing. So Dexter was doing it for a while, and he has this video where he's literally like bashing his car with a hammer. It's pretty great.
Sounds like it.
But yeah, that's Battle Kid 2. I recommend checking it out. At least listen to the music. It's good stuff.
Gotcha.
All right. We're going to give Beautiful Katamari to Mr. K because it's the first word and first letter sort of describes him quite nicely. Suck up, suck up, suck up. So this is for you, Mr. K. Read at your pleasure.
All right, so we have Beautiful Katamari for the 360. I guess that's a rotation of some kind. Any percent in 4334 by Garbanzo Guy, which is high in protein. It says it's a pretty good run. Best is 4327 or 4326. But I deleted the recording because of the entire screen not being visible at one point, and I wasn't pleased with it. We'll record another run when I get a capture card. Isn't Katamari the one where you're rolling the thing?
Yeah, it's the really good one. You roll around and you pick up stuff, and there's great music.
And I guess like speedrunning that is a little bit tricky because you kind of work like holistically, right?
It's basically trying to speedrun that game it's like the never-ending routing. You're rooting forever, and then the execution's not so crazy most of the time, but it's just non-stop rooting because you got so many possibilities basically.
Yeah. So congratulations to Garbanzo Guy.
Yeah, well done. It's cool to see Katamari runs. They scare me up with how much rooting they are. I've tried them, but too much rooting. Knowing that somebody could just easily sneak in and go a different way in a room and cut your time by a few seconds is...
Yeah, I mean, there's so many different places to go pick up stuff is the thing, so...
Yeah, exactly. All right, Breath of Fire 3. We shall give this to, I guess, Zalad. I don't really... Oh, no, wait, should we? Because there's... Damn it.
Might.
And see, I've got this far without confusing Zalad and DK28, and I've now gone and done it, and I couldn't remember which one said they were playing Castlevania.
Well, DK's missing, so I guess...
Yeah, DK's on his way to pick up Murph.
That's fine, but I still confused it. Fine. Zalad, do you play Castlevania, or did DK say he was playing it?
DK is the one who's running it right now.
Damn it. All right, you can have Breath of Fire 3 then. Fine.
All right. So this is Breath of Fire 3 for the PS2. Any percent? 836. I'm gonna take a guess and say that's 8 hours.
Yeah,
That's correct.
Yeah. Okay. By Neo/72, new world record by me. Oh yeah, 8 hours 36 minutes in game time, and it is 9 hours and 14 minutes. I'm guessing 22 seconds RTA.
Wow, that's long.
That is more
is-
patience than I can possibly have.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just don't think I could ever be an RPG runner. Mad props to those who can do that. I can't sit there that long and do the remember a route that long.
Yeah.
That's the biggest problem I have for RPG runs. It's like, huh.
Tell you what, I love this game. This game is so good.
Breath of Fire 3 is a really good game. I just couldn't speedrun it personally.
I've said before, like, if I somehow had infinite money and didn't work, I would speedrun this game. It's just awesome. But yeah.
So not many
sadly,
requirements then, is there?
Yeah. Well, yeah, unfortunately, about 4 hours of this are text boxes. They are the slowest text boxes. We're talking like Ocarina of Time and Final Fantasy Tactics, Little Money put together.
Wow.
It's pretty bad. But, it's an awesome game. So it's this game it's really hit it off with the French community. There's a few French runners that run it. So Neoslash has been running this for a couple of years now, I think, and it's almost sub 9, which is. I mean, it's actually kind of crazy. The game doesn't. It's just so long.
When he gets to sub 9, he can more easily do 2 runs in a day, right?
Yeah, one reset at most.
I just imagine you would reset after an hour and think, well, no, I don't have enough time to do this now.
Right.
But there you go.
Had time for one run before work. Damn it.
Yeah. Okay, let's. I'll just take Castlevania 3 quickly. It's Castlevania 3 Dracula's Curse. Oh, wait, hang on. Shouldn't you take this, Gilda? Didn't you know about this one?
I know a little bit about it, yeah. This is Castlevania 3 Dracula's Curse, NES, US, grant in 1806 by Produx. This is the new incredibly glitched, negative world, good lord, what happened to this game route, where, I want to say it's stage 4. I think it's stage 4, you do the stair glitch. Then you go up, you climb up, and the game absolutely goes bonkers. You know, the usual mess on the screen type stuff. Kind of climb up some invisible stairs and down some stairs and da-da-da-da. Back and forth for about, I think, 8 minutes or so, roughly. And then you get to one particular screen, kill yourself, and boom, you're on the last stage of the game. His only comment is Castlevania. But, so I don't know if he's got anything detailed to say about the run, but... Yeah, this is the more...
I think he summed it up, really.
Yeah, pretty much. This is the broken as hell run, so...
I think Grant summed it up best when he said that he was very fast.
Yes, exactly. Poor useless Trevor.
All right, and then this is the last one on this page, right? Sinister, then it's only fair if you get one.
I'm actually going to take a pass, and I'll do the first one on the next page.
Oh,
there you go.
Okay, that's fine.
That's a fine call.
We'll take... actually, Fiesel, you can just read this one out then.
Sure,
I know you've played
right.
Doom in the past.
Yes, I've played this. Well, no, actually, I haven't played Doom Scythe, but whatever. It's it's another Doom game. It's if you're familiar with Doom, you would be happy playing this game. Doom Scythe, PC version, obviously. This is UV Speed. 1817 is the time by Cyberdemon 531. He says, I've made map-by-map notes on the video description, but the summary is, Scythe is a 32-level megawad released in 2003, which is widely renowned as one of the best Doom 2 megawads in general. It was created by Eric Alm, who was a speedrunner, and thus it has many routes implemented that make the run look really nice. This time beats Dime's previous record by about 4 minutes due to way fewer mistakes and a lot more aggressive strats. Also, I survived with 2% health at the final level. Fucking shit.
Well said.
Yep. It's cool. I like watching this guy play Doom, and it's very impressive beating a Dime run. But I guess when you've got better execution and more aggressive strats, that's what's going to happen eventually, isn't it?
I like the way you put that. All right. Is this one done, by the way?
Not quite, no. It's
not
got
quite.
about
Okay, it's fine.
30 more seconds, roughly.
Yeah. I remember we mention this every time there's a Doom and or Quake run on here, but there seems to be so many custom maps, packs, add-ons, expansions, things we've never heard of. Now I just accept it that I'm not going to know it.
Yeah, but I mean, as long as it's like a good, legit ROM hack. I about said ROM hack. Seriously, Doom WAD.
It's a custom map, yeah.
Yeah. But some of those are amazing.
Speedrunner made it, so that's pretty interesting too.
Yeah, well,
it's definitely interesting considering how many freaking boss creatures there are in Mancuba and such like that. It's like you'd figure a speedrunner would make something a little more fair, maybe. I don't know.
Who knows?
No way.
You're right. You're right.
Let's make the most brutal thing you can. Go for it.
Now let's speedrun it.
And then put a run of it online of you doing it.
Yeah.
All right. Then gimmick for you, Mr. Sinister.
Why, thank you. Yes, gimmick, of course, on the NES or the Famicom, because it's J version. The game was only released over there and in Europe, I believe. So any percent this time. Cypher had recently done the all items, but this time he's doing any percent, and he does it in 7 minutes and 4 seconds, blazing fast, beating the almighty Hotarubi. Down goes Hotarubi. Cypher getting the job done. That was definitely a tough record to get. His comment is simply lol, and I can only assume this is because he even astonished himself at his own greatness in getting this time. I'm sure that's what it was.
Right. What was Hotarubi's time? Do you know how much this beat it by?
I'm not exactly sure on that. I wish I knew offhand, but I know that it was one of. I mean, Hotarubi's lost so many records over the last couple of years. This
yeah,
is
poor guy. He's got a target on his back.
But yeah, I think Cypher's got to be pretty pleased with that.
Yeah.
I mean, that time seems really low to me. I didn't get to see this run, unfortunately, as of course I've been traveling and out of town. But I will certainly be watching this and recommend that anybody else has anything to do.
Sure, you can find a 7 minutes and 4 seconds to spare.
Yeah, I think anybody can find that.
All right, sweet. Are you guys heading off then?
Yeah, we've got some things to take care of and pack and.
That sounds scary.
It is.
I'm gonna go lock my door.
It'd be scary if you're a Contra game.
Yeah.
There's nothing worse than forgetting a cable or a plug or an AC adapter or a game, so.
That's a pretty long list of things you could have potentially forgotten.
It is. So.
It sounds more like a shopping list. No, I kid.
Yeah. Well, thank you very much for having us all on the show. We really
thanks for guessing.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you.
It's been too long. It has been too long. Yeah.
Oh yeah, for Sinister especially.
Yeah, there's been a chunk of people.
Yeah.
Okay, I haven't probably spoken really to either of you. I spoke to Sinister when I was at DreamHack, but I probably haven't spoken to UK since AGDQ itself.
That's been far too long, Flicky.
That's been a long time. Yeah. Cool. Well, we'll have to do something about that next time. All right then.
Well, let's post the link in the chat again, and you guys.
One more,
yeah, go ahead and watch these guys the moment their stream goes live. Don't even worry about finishing the rest of this show. Watch Contra Conference, please.
Well, maybe have them open, but listen to us.
Okay, fine. Leave them both open. Nah, just go.
Or something. Or speedrun.tv.
It'll be like they never left, sort of.
Yeah, it'll be likely that they might be rated by us too. So.
What?
I mean, if they're streaming, they.
Spoilers.
Will be, yeah.
Goodness.
Sorry, my bad.
Flicky, please.
Anyway, thank you very much for being on the show, guys. Zalad,
yes, absolutely.
K, Sinister One. Thank DK as well for us.
Yeah, thank DK, definitely.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Take care, everybody.
All right.
See you guys.
Bye-bye. All right, so
next we have...
We're going to have to remember, we're going to go through these records, but you're going to remind me to talk about Mystery Tournament and that as well.
I will do so. I promise.
When we get to the M's, we'll talk about Mystery Tournament.
Yeah.
I hope we haven't done anything that's A through G that we needed to talk about, because that ship has sailed.
What?
Well,
no, we're on G.
Well, we're on G
there's still some G. Okay.
So, yes.
See, the problem is I want to talk about the GTA Marathon. I can mention that briefly here, but Vice City...
G Grand Theft Auto, are you going to say?
Grand Theft Auto Vice City, the PC version, of course, 70%. It's, I want to say finally sub-hour, but it's happened so quickly that I wouldn't say finally sub-hour is a thing at all, but 5940 by Phil Mirage, which I believe is how you meant to say his name. So, sub 1 hour... about a month ago, just over, the record was 1 hour 129, I think. I think they just cut the 130, something like that. So, yeah, with the new breaks and the guys grinding it out, they sub 1 hour this game. So good job to Phil and all the other runners for destroying this game. People wanted skips for Cone Crazy and Cherry Poppers and stuff like that, and they ended up finding skips for pretty much everything after a certain point. So, okay, careful what you wish for, I suppose. I don't know. But just to mention as well, the GTA Marathon did run all this week. It's either finished now or they're doing some wind down stuff, but they ran a whole bunch of games there, and it seemed to do pretty well. I saw it up at around 1,000 views quite often, so good job to those guys. So it's good to see another community doing a little community event. I don't think there was any charity thing involved or anything like that there as well. So it's just another, just a simple speedrun event with lots of great games and great guys there. So that's good. All right, cool game. This game is super cool.
This game is cool.
Gunstar Heroes. This is oh man, this game's so good. I got to play it again recently as well. It I want to say it was at the Stockholm Games Museum exhibit they had earlier in the year, and oh my god, it's even more fun than I remember it being. But it's Genesis. This is expert mode of Gunstar Heroes 3824 by King Tut, who says, it's a great run, although I had a bad dice palace and I didn't get the big time-saving quick kills on the Phantoms on the highway stage. If both of these work in my favor in a future run, I can easily get sub 38. Also, a little tidbit that I got to play as Blue simply by plugging in the controller into the second port, for anyone curious or wondering. Big thanks to all who influenced the run and told you and to you guys for doing what you do. Oh, that's us. Thank you.
Us?
Hey,
all right.
Well, thanks for giving us an excuse to talk about Gunstar Heroes again.
Yeah. Very cool game.
Controllable fireball blast thing.
Yeah, this is a really cool game. I like this a lot. There's like something like 16 different weapon combinations or something like that. And it's almost appropriate, like being the Contra Conference episode. You know, it's kind of Contra-y.
Yeah, run and gun, side-scrolling action. Lots of explosions.
Not just that, but there's so many things you can do as sort of wall jumps, throws, throw your opponent, throw your teammate around, all sorts of cool stuff you can do in this game. It's really great and it works well, and it's forgiving enough to be fun for the casual player. They can actually get through a good chunk of this game without being destroyed. So
it's true. And then there's a lot of auto scroller in it, though, if I remember correctly, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but I don't know how that is to run, but it's a great game, and on expert mode, it's not easy either. So.
Oh man, yeah, I want to see how the that weird board game thing at the end works on a speedrun.
Oh yeah.
Like go back 3 spaces, reset.
Son of a bitch. I don't know.
I just want to open invitation, King Tut. If you happen to live somewhere near me, how about you teach me how to run this game when we co-op it?
You can't get the entire speedrunning community to teach you how to run games.
Yes, I can. Damn it. All right. I do not know what this game is now.
I don't either. I was looking at the highlight reel for it, and I was a little bit like, I've never seen this before.
Okay.
It seems interesting.
It sounds pretty awesome.
I don't know it either, but I'll talk about it now.
Yeah.
Especially because it's coming up in a marathon soon.
Sure.
What is it?
Yes. Oh, the JRTA marathon, yes. So this is Hydra Castle Labyrinth for the PC. Any percent run in 31 minutes, 37 seconds by 404 error. Who says, finally got a decent run. This can go sub 30 for sure. Pretty hyped to run this in the JRTA marathon.
So we now need to talk about the JRTA. We're going to talk about that.
Oh, this game is nice and broken.
Well, you can watch a little bit of a sequence break here, and then you can watch some more platforming and stuff.
You can watch something, that's for sure.
Yeah, I guess you just bomb yourself out of bounds. Boom.
Fantastic. But yes, the JRTA marathon.
Which is going to be coming up, at the end of this month? It's like the 28th?
Do you believe so?
It's 2 weeks from yesterday, I think.
There you go.
Okay.
Yes.
Really cool,
Friday, so
really cool marathon. The concept is amazing.
Okay, that's all right.
Trying to get some Japanese runners for the first time to the States to get to a GDQ.
Yeah. Current receivers, Oxus, Ohan, and Hagane. 3 really great runners.
Yeah.
And people have, especially Oxus, people have been waiting to beat Oxus for several years.
Yep.
He's one of the Japanese runners that knows enough English to talk with people, and he's a great guy. Good streams too. And
he's been around for a while too.
Yeah, he has. Definitely several years at least. And Ohan is a really top Mega Man runner. I'm sure Duckfist can
And
agree with
Castlevania
that
as well.
one.
Yeah, I'd say he's pretty much the best 2D platforming speedrunner of this generation right now. I'd go so far as, yeah.
Yeah, and then Hugane, really great. Is it Super Castlevania Hugane plays?
Yes, SCV4.
Yeah.
SCV4. So really great. We'll check that one. We'll remind you. Don't worry about it. But that's something
It's
to
going to
mention.
be at JRTA Marathon is the name of the Twitch stream. JRTA Marathon.
Yep.
And it might be front paged. Who knows?
Hopefully.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
As for the game itself, I looked at it. I was looking at the highlight reel. It kind of looks like the side-scrolling sections of Zelda 4 Swords Adventure. It's kind of like when you're inside when you're playing on the GBA, it turns into like the Zelda 2 perspective where it's all platforms and such like that. It looks interesting. It's like a game based on that concept. It looks like it might not be directly based on it, but you know what I mean.
I like the connection to La Mulana. That's interesting.
Indeed. But neat game.
All right. So we also have Knit Stories with a K. So it's Knit or Knit. I am not sure. Probably just Knit. This is run of the tutorial. Okay. So this is a tutorial run in 1 minute 12 and 0.05 seconds by Uranium Anchor. So it's a simple enough run. We're sick of bad tutorial runs getting submitted to SDA, so I spent a few hours trying to grind out those last few frames. Didn't quite manage to get the 111, and there's a handful that could be saved here, but I suppose that's just a symbolic barrier. The 456 this run is not. So I'm guessing somebody submitted a 456 of the tutorial or something. And UA got a touch annoyed and decided to do something about it.
Yeah. Apparently there were a lot, because he says bad tutorial runs. So I'm guessing everybody really wanted to have that world record or something.
Of the
I guess.
tutorial.
The game is short. Like that's and if you can cut the game's time down to like a quarter of what someone has submitted, I guess I don't blame you for wanting to run this game.
Well, it's a good way to stop them submitting stuff, I guess. So
I suppose.
Well, I can't say much about the tutorial because it's a tutorial, but the rest of the game is really good.
Yeah, I've heard it's a really solid
It's a
game.
fun game.
You don't remember the tutorial that much?
I believe we've seen
It's a tutorial.
Yeah, I was gonna say, it's the part that speedrunners want to get past as fast as possible, but apparently people are submitting those to SDA now. So
Yeah, it's a neat, like, casual exploration platformer. Right? It's kind of fun. You know, it's a pleasant game, I guess I could say.
There you go. I don't know what to say. I mean, Duckfist summed it up pretty well with "it's a tutorial."
I was gonna say.
There you go.
I guess grats to UA. Maybe he gave himself some peace with that one.
All right, yeah.
We've had knit stories before on the show, though, right? We had a 100% run.
Yeah, we have. We definitely had knit stories before.
Oh, sure.
So.
And Knit Underground, I guess that's related to this.
Yeah.
Oh, that's the one where the three knit brothers get left out as orphans and they have magical musical instruments and they eat chili dogs, right?
That sounds right.
And they eat chili dogs. Well,
You're talking about the dream I had?
disturbing lack of milkshakes in that dream, Fiesel. I'm not sure you're you.
I know.
Am I even awake right now?
His feet were milkshakes.
Oh,
Don't worry
wake up.
about it. That was a loud slam. All right,
Sure was.
Duckfist, we got a little bit of Mega Man's here, so you can talk about as many of these as you wish to.
Okay, we'll start off with my favorite game of all time.
I just saw the console there and realized maybe you don't have too much to say.
No,
about
this is right up my alley. You know, everybody's played this game, especially me, the Game Gear speedrunner. So apparently a Mega Man game is on Game Gear. Any percent normal Mega Man Game Gear version in 15 minutes and 30 seconds by DSmon. Yeah, it's backlit and everything.
That is an incredibly zoomed in perspective.
I'm amazed the batteries last long enough for him to finish the game.
Oh yeah, I know. Especially with it's getting all hot, you know, and
They see adapter strats.
heavy.
But seriously.
You have that spare battery on the back that's like 3 times the size of the Game Gear itself. You know what I mean?
It seems to run really quickly though.
But the speed run.
Smooth.
It actually looks really good. Yeah, this is just like a really zoomed in version of Mega Man 5. And hey, there's actually vertical like scrolling. There's no vertical scrolling in Mega Man games actually normally.
Oh, shit.
But hey, it looks pretty sexy, so we'll go with that. And DSmon says was a pretty good run besides Starman and Brightman. Brightman and Starman. Wait, what?
Yeah.
Both in the same game. Okay.
Bright
Cool.
Starman.
That's Mega Man 5 and 4.
New World.
Yeah.
And so, I guess it's a 4 and 5 hybrid or something. But yeah, he says, good run besides Starman and Brightman stages, and a costly missed water wave on Toadman. Had good RNG on Stone Man and Napalm Man fights, and passable RNG on the Wily fight, only missing 1 cycle due to his position. Now to work on hard mode. Ooh,
this seems to, this seems to run smoother and more smoothly and more quickly than the NES Mega Man seem to.
Yeah, Capcom actually planned on this one being their flagship product, but it turned out their secondary development team ended up getting it big with the NES Mega Mans. Yeah, that's the backstory.
There you go. All right, Mega Man X as well. SNES Japanese version 100% at 3552 by Luis Miguel. Don't know any Portuguese, so and it says we in there, baby. This is beats Caleb's run from I believe last December. But it's Luis Miguel, Brazilian runner. It's really cool. I went into his stream to ask him a question, and he ignored me. So great guy. No, I'm serious. He's really good at Mega Man. He's really good at Mega Man X3 as well. So check out his stream. Support for some of the South American runners. It's really cool to see them sort of joining the community, as it were, and especially doing well. So, and then there's an X3 as well. Do you know much about this, Duckfist?
No. This is the low PS2. This must be the one where they skip all the bosses. Yeah, okay. So yeah, we have Crack Attack doing Mega Man X3 low percent on Anniversary Collection version in 24 minutes 45 seconds. He says, this run is done on X Collection utilizing an exclusive glitch to skip the final levels after the intro stage. This category is also referred to as low percent X Collection or low percent glitched. This is my first sub 25 with a death, but the RNG was too good. That was too good that it was still PB. Okay.
Yeah.
So good RNG. PB it up. So yeah, this is definitely a separate category for having that crazy stage skipping glitch that lets you go straight to the Sigma stages, I think. But yeah, it makes it really hard because it pretty much puts you at the end of the game with just the Buster and no extra heart tanks, so you have 16 HP. And X3 already does just shitloads of damage to you. Like if you touch an enemy, it does like 10 damage in that game. So
holy shit!
Like when doing the final bosses, you can pretty much just take one hit and the next hit's death. So it requires some determination, and if this is deathless, then that means it's quite good.
Yeah,
it's really hard. Oh, it's still. So this is my first sub 25 with a death. Okay.
All right. It's I think this is what makes really warps categories interesting, is when your character's super underpowered. I know the Final Fantasy VII Yuffie warp is very interesting because you warp after about 2 hours of gameplay and you're fighting the final bosses with not much in the way of stats or equipment. So. Really cool to see.
X3 really scary game, low percent. So congrats, Crack Attack. Must have been doing it during that 24-hour stream he does every now and then. So, nicely done, dude.
Yeah. All right, we've also got a Metal Slug Advance, keeping on the Metal Slug excitement train. It's a Game Boy Advance Metal Slug, which I have to admit I've not played, but it's an 80% normal and 1533 by Gyra. So good luck on the
Gyra.
Or Gyra. Yeah, actually, it could be Gyra.
No, it's Gyra.
Yeah. Okay.
Met him in person, man.
Oh. Did I?
No, I have.
Oh, okay. I was going to say.
So it's Weasel.
Yeah,
but it's
in person, haven't you?
Did I? Maybe. Oh my god, I don't know. Yes. Anyways, Gyra, good luck on the bosses with only minor mistakes elsewhere. I'd like to keep grinding on this current route until I can get it down to around 15-20. Dude, I hope he's not mad. I hope I didn't meet him and forget him. But yeah, good job to playing a damn good series of games. I am so close to putting in my Metal Slug 3 right now, but.
You've been hearing nonstop Metal Slug since the start of the show.
Oh man, you're crazy, dude. Don't even do that. It should be Metal Slug 2.
I agree.
Whoa, yeah, it should be because it's shorter, you're right, but still. I just find out whichever one's the shortest Metal Slug and play that. But anyway. Oh boy, okay. Feezy, how about you get a grab? You can get a grab at this one. That's the thing you Americans say, isn't it?
Sure, why not?
Get a grab?
Yeah.
You don't even say that in England, do you? You're just making this up.
Get a hold on this one, maybe?
I'm gonna have a drink of water.
And then I'm gonna go have a sleep.
He's been making up all these British idioms. Now we have the completely wrong impression of the British.
We'd go over there and say things, and they're kind of just like, what? But meanwhile,
that tea. I'm sorry.
Meanwhile,
This next one is Tiddlywinks. Yes.
God, what are you talking about, man? Okay, sorry.
Yeah, right. In all seriousness, very serious run here. Metroid Prime. This is for the GameCube. 100% run in 1:14. I guess, is that in-game? Is that gotta
It should be in-game. I would imagine.
I would think so for this.
Miles tends to do in-game.
Right. In-game, but not in bounds, as I'm sure you see if you're watching the screen. But it's Miles, of course, our Metroid Prime guru, who says, out of nowhere improvement, new route, change, saves 10 to 15 seconds, no idea where the rest of the improvement came from.
Wow.
So there you go. He's as surprised as we are. Here's Prime back in action.
yeah, good to see it too.
100%. 100% is cool, too.
Yep. Pretty neat.
I wonder if we're going to see a low percent run anytime soon. Who knows? Who knows? All right.
No, it's yours.
Yeah. I was going to say I shouldn't really talk because I actually just sold my Metroid Prime the other day. It's a PAL version, so I didn't think it was such a big deal.
Okay, then you did the world justice. Okay.
Yeah. All right. This is called.
I'll do this one.
Oh,
there we go.
Actually, I have some experience with this game.
Yeah, I played this one too. Yeah.
All right. Sweet.
Yeah, I've got some interesting things to say about it as well. But here we have Mitsumi Gatoru by Ramalake. I'm sorry if I mispronounced that, but Ramalake completed the game in 1952. 90 minutes, 15
seconds. That was a long time ago. Jeez.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, this game goes way back. This is actually
When dinosaurs roamed the earth.
Yeah. So this is a Famicom-only game. So Mitsumi Gatoru, I think, stands for the three-eyed one. I think that's what it means. And it's, I guess it's based off of some manga or
yeah, it's
anime or something.
Right, a manga. And it is the main character is a guy with 3 eyes who shoots like bullets from his eye, from his forehead eye.
Okay.
Yeah.
Andy.
This is very Mega Man-like. So, 3 shots on the screen, you have this, projectile, and it's a run and jump. And you also have this, so the main mechanic in it, you have this weird spear weapon that you can throw by holding down the B button, and you have to stand in place while you're charging it up. And when you throw this thing, you can get an upgrade that does damage, but after throwing it, you can actually jump on it, and it forces it to stand still, and it can give you a bounce. So it gives this weird mechanic to kind of open up some sequence-breaking potential, particularly lets you do some quick kills on the bosses. And this is actually a really volatile speed game. So at the end of the game, you can mess up. If you slightly mess up on the quick kills on the final 2 bosses, it takes forever. So if you want a good time, you pretty much have to get these quick kills. And it's at the very end of the game too. And there's a couple of skips that you can do with it as well. It's actually quite a good speed game. I think this is pretty popular in blind races. I've seen it in a lot of blinds. But yeah, the reason, so he has a 1952. I don't really know how to say this without sounding bad, but so what would you do if, suppose you see a run and you happen to have a faster run that's not recorded? What do you do? How do you respond?
I think what you do is you head to Twitter or forums or Twitch chats, and you just talk about how you're better at the game than they are without ever.
Oh, that's good. Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
Work on recording. Well, you have nothing. You have nothing. It exists in your head that runs.
Oh, yeah.
I know. Have nothing.
It's the figment. Well, okay. So I'll leave you guys with this. I know for a fact that this time can be improved by 1 minute and 7 seconds. We'll just go.
Well, there you go. Okay.
But yeah,
this say how you know this, but
no.
It's fine.
No. But
I'm sure we'll piece it together in tweets and Twitch messages.
Yeah. But I wanted to read his comment. He says, Ramalok says, "I was lucky to get good RNG on the last boss," and that's really important because you completely miss the quick kill if he changes his pattern up. And then he says, "But I can still improve my result. During this run, I failed to make arrow transition on level 5-2. The invention of this technique was inspired by Mega Man 5 Wave Man Zip, which resulted in a 20 to 25 second loss." So I know what he's talking about there. There's this elevator section where you come into this room and it makes you sit still while the elevator comes into screen to show you, hey, you're supposed to ride the elevator. But while you're sitting still and can't move, the elevator leaves the screen. So you have to sit there and wait for it to come back down. And it takes 30 seconds. But actually, if you throw that arrow thing I was talking about, that spear, and then move into the spot that forces you to stand still and triggers the elevator cutscene, you're bouncing on this arrow while your input is locked. And then as soon as the input unlocks, you can bounce off of it onto the elevator, just, skipping that entire waiting period. So if you want to get a good time, you have to grab that as well.
And
so
it's actually a game with really super arrows broken, basically. Super arrow game broken.
Super arrow. Yeah, I guess that's a coincidence here. Huh. Arrow and skip.
You think you're just calling it arrow by accident? There was no subconscious.
I never made the connection, actually.
All right.
But yeah, pretty sick game. This is totally unknown, but Mitsumi ga Toru, I recommend checking it out.
Cool.
Nice. All right. Duckfist earning his paycheck right there. Damn.
I am.
All right, new Super Marissa Land. Has anyone played this one?
I have not.
All right, this is PC Japanese version.
Well, it's
PC.
in Japanese, right?
Yeah, it's in Japanese. That's fine. It's All Mushrooms in 3643 by Raindrop Dry, who I want to say is also Brazilian. Thinking of the Brazilian theme today, or limited Brazilian theme. New Super Marissa Land is a Toho fan game that plays homage to the Super Mario Bros. Series. A run of this game uses many different power-ups you find along your way in order to finish levels faster and defeat bosses quicker. World 5 cost me the most time due to sloppiness, but I'll definitely go for a better time. So, yeah, this is Marissa of one of the Super... Is it Mega Mari she's in, or is she in something else? No, I don't know. But let's abandon ship on that idea. But it's Toho fan game of Mario. It's not one of those old Mario wannabe things, but it's one of those Toho things, a bit like Mega Mari is, and the game that won't be mentioned now as to we've got it later on. But it's with a Toho twist on an old classic. Yeah, we have had it before, I know.
Indeed,
I've seen the name.
This one, or you might be thinking of Super Marissa World.
I might be thinking of Super Marissa World.
I think Marissa World, yeah.
Was it at SGDQ a while back?
Yeah,
I thought it got submitted for this one too, actually.
Oh, for this one, maybe.
I thought I saw it on there.
Could be.
Yeah, cool games.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Could see that Toho twist. Yeah, crazy. All right, what's the lag situation like, Gilda? Am I way behind?
No, we are just finishing now. Your timing was really excellent, actually.
Okay, well, that fluke. Okay, so we have a game called On the Ball as well. SNES, all levels, 58, 56 by Garbanzo Guy. Have any of you guys played this one? Or
yeah, sure.
Why not?
Yeah.
This is the one where you're a marble that you have to get through a big maze, except it's sort of like Mohawk and Headphone Jack. You spin the world in order to get the marble.
Is this that SGL
we played this on SGL, yes, we did.
Yeah. Oh, this is a cool game.
It's a very cool game, and it's a neat speed run and very challenging, and will surely make you sick. So it's to watch.
Think like Sonic the Hedgehog 1 special stage, I want to say.
Ooh, you're right.
Okay.
No, I don't like the sound of that at all. All right, we've got Rockin' Cats as well, and I'll not ask Duckfist to talk about this.
No, I haven't secretly beaten this, so don't worry about it.
So I think people, for those who missed that, for some reason, people seem to think Duckfist has run Rockin' Cats. And
I played it for a week. This fell into one of my piles of games that I got hooked on and then stopped playing after 5 days. Yeah. I think Mitsumi Guitar was one of those as well.
Still runs this game, quote unquote, if you believe the masses. So it's Rockin' Cats. It's the NTSC version on NES in 2021 by Eldra, who says, very happy with this run. Another milestone crushed by 9 seconds. Run is still improvable. Two boss quick kills were missed, which amounts to about 15 seconds. Sub 20 is possible with this route, but I will not grind it for it anytime soon. I'm sick of this game's music. It's time to move on to other games. Thanks for everyone who gave me support to keep doing this.
Guess the cats are no longer so rockin'.
So he must have grinded the shit out of this.
All right. Now, we have 2 RKS games. Now, I think we've all had a crack at saying this, but Gilda Sneeze, I accept. Yes. Has not. So Gilda, you get a go, and from what I heard earlier, it's perfectly good. So
yeah, fine. It's Rosenkreuz Stilette. It's PC. Any percent TIA. 3149 by VJW. Let me start the highlight reel here, this one's for the next game, but It'll cover both.
Only the strictest of High German speakers will have any gripe with that one, I think.
Everyone on the show has to try pronouncing this game's title at least once. Also, this run is really awful, and I'll prove it in the near future. Then we have Rosenkreuz Stillette Freudenstachel. PC, any percent Pamela, 3339 by Siren. That's what the footage is playing from. RKSF is an anime Mega Man clone with an alternative mode that plays similarly to Mega Man Zero. Many improvements have been made to this category over the last few months. One example is Sichta's fight, in which the previous method would trigger her second phase too quickly and let her use a time stop attack. I had plenty of big mistakes in this run, and also didn't do a couple of risky tricks or skips, so this is still very improvable. But grats to BJW and Siren.
Yeah, I've seen a slight resurgence in interest in this one. A few streams are watching it, people playing it again. It's cool. It looks like a lot of fun, but I have, again, the Mega Man... I have a disability, which is that I cannot play any Mega Man or Mega Man-like games to any level, so I have neglected to try it myself.
Oh, you like anime, though, right? That's enough.
No, I don't.
Oh, no.
Wow.
Sorry.
Get out.
Bad call there.
Lucky you called it.
Anime this week, actually, but it was more of one of those, really didn't want to do what I was meant to do things, so I watched a 45-minute thing, which I've forgotten the name of, but it was pretty.
You certainly called it, as someone in chat has said it still sounds wrong. So, surprisingly enough, I can't speak a non-native language very well.
Yeah, you can't speak a language you don't know. Yeah. But there you go.
It's kind of wild. What are you gonna do?
Rosenkreuz Stillette Freudenstachel. So BJW said we have to say this each episode.
Everyone.
It's Stachel, actually.
Oh, it's a Stachel? Gotcha.
It depends on where you come from in Germany.
Yeah, probably. I would not argue with you there.
Even like I or ich can either be ich or ish, or
ish is horrible sounding though. Ish is wrong.
So
is ick.
Or Germany there. All right. Hey,
we'll fight with the
Germans. Gave it a shot. I followed BJW's request. That's all I need.
You did it. You did fine. I mean, as I said, only the most stringent of High German speakers are going to complain about that one, I think. Yes. But we have Space Station Silicon Valley on N64, any percent in 13049 by McKill.
Sounds right to me.
I'm going to go with that, yeah.
Prefer
this
MC
is a run that ignores many of the game's speed strats that are high risk, low reward. One major mistake probably cost me the sub 130, but I'll keep trying. I haven't played this myself, but I did watch Bangera play the PS1 copy, which I think is called Evo Space Adventures or something like that, which is the same game ported to PS1, and the final stage was just god-awful. So if it has that final stage... Wow. Unlucky, McGill, but there you go.
We got a classic next.
Yeah.
Sorry, I forgot to switch the page there.
That's all right. Go for it.
Yes, this is Funk Doc. Old Funk Doc's back. Is he
the classic you're referring to?
No. Well, that too. He is a classic.
Well, he is.
It's a classic.
It's Spear of Destiny. It's an old Wolfenstein game. PC, any percent. I Am Death Incarnate difficulty. 2917 by Funk Doc. Still not a deathless single segment, but this game is basically FPS Holy Diver. The main trick here, that's strong words. The main trick here is manipulating enemies to open locked doors for you, which is done on almost half the maps. I ran this on a PS2 pad using the Wolf for SDL source port, which is extremely close to the original game, but offers extra commands for pad players. I'll leave this game to the mouse and keyboard experts, as I never expected a sub 30. Huge thanks to Captain Clever and Cyberdemon 531 for firing various tricks and skips in Wolfenstein and Spear. There you go.
I have a feeling that's a very good way to get people to run your game. Is to
hey, you could beat me.
No, to say I played this on controller.
Oh, yeah, true.
And you just get a bunch of PC people like, what? In they come.
Get the pitchforks and torches. It's over.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, it's true. It's true. Like, I still need to go beat Kazez's Mega Man 4 run because it was done on a GameCube controller. Like, pretty much just for that reason.
Yeah, no, that's definitely something that should be done. In my brief period of trying to run some emulator games, the only pad I had that worked was either a 360 pad or a 365 pad, which is basically a Saturn controller.
Ouch.
Neither of these are good choices.
Like you're holding a frisbee or like... I don't know, like an entire PS1 console in your hand.
Well, it was either that or an arcade stick or a keyboard, so I would end up playing on keyboard. But anyway, yeah, cool game.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's just about done highlight-wise.
There's a neat boss skip too at the beginning.
Yeah.
It may not have come across in the video what was happening there, but
Funk Dog was letting everybody know.
Yeah, he's telling everybody.
Yeah,
That 1 HP getaway.
Yeah, no kidding. Mighty close.
I stabbed
Very
that
cool.
guy to make the other guy go into the locked door.
Mm-hmm.
That sounds very sinister if you take that out of context. That's just me.
I suppose it does.
All right. Can we?
Yes,
carry on
it is
talking?
on
So
time.
bad. We need to get ourselves a streaming thing. I think I might have a thing for that.
streaming
Anyway.
thing would be so cool.
Yeah, I know.
Some way
We
to
should get a
stream.
streaming.
No, like a restreaming server. I think I might have access to one of those. We shall see. Anyway,
Yeah, that'd be interesting, actually.
Star Wars Jedi Knight Jedi Academy on PC. 80% in 42. Sorry, but Elemental Guard. There's a video, yeah. It's a solid run with new level route, new skips, and one less crash than my previous PB. I just want to say thanks to Liam for getting me back into this game by beating my time and giving me competition. That's always a good way to get back in.
Mm-hmm.
No competition never hurt anybody. So yeah.
Yep.
No, I'm just thinking we can get a low lag streaming server. We can
Yeah, we definitely could.
stream to ourselves and I guess, and then we won't have this silly problem of Twitch lag anymore. Okay. Moving on, but this is Jedi Academy, one of the now I'm going to lose track on this. I don't know if it's one of the good Star Wars games or not. I have no idea.
Well, I mean, speedrunning wise, I'm watching it and it's pretty fucking great.
Yeah, I'm watching it so far. He's jumping all over buildings.
Yeah. So the game itself is getting absolutely murdered, but
Did he just warp there?
don't worry about that. Things happen, all right? It's a 3D Star Wars game. I mean,
Yeah.
you've seen the one that Salamiri runs for several weeks. You can bomb yourself over the end of level checkpoints. You should not be surprised at this point. Just enjoy.
No. I am enjoying it. That's
Dark Forces 2.
Look at that.
is this guy even a Jedi? He doesn't have a lightsaber.
Jedi parkour. Just
Yeah.
the city is your playground, Jedi.
Ugh.
Wow. Damn.
It's pretty
This looks
cool.
sweet.
Yeah, it is pretty
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like these games where you can just sort of climb all over the the architecture or the landscape, for lack of better terms.
Like, I like how the lightsabers, he's not attacking anything. It's just to look cool as you're jumping around.
Check it out, dude. It's
Looks
Jedi
nice,
Rave.
yeah.
Woo! Now I'm going to go up this wall.
Yeah.
Cool stuff.
All
All
right.
right, yeah.
Okay, this game.
This game.
Yes,
Yeah,
tell us about this
again, we keep getting this game submitted, but it's Super Mario 64 on N64, 120 star, 142.55 by Puncation. I think that beats the old record by 3 seconds or something.
Something along those lines. He's really been pushing it down, so.
Yeah, that's driving it into the dirt. So good job, Punke. Damn good. All right, Super Widget. Let's go this to Fiesel for no reason other than I want to hear him say the word widget.
Okay.
Say everything but widget.
The title of this is kind of is changed, I imagine, since then. Now that widgets are things.
You think the title so Super Widget doesn't mean what it used to?
Well, I guess it's like a cutesy character or something like that. But to
Yeah, I
me
think
now,
it's a
widget
cartoon
is just
character.
like
I think there's like an actual franchise around this or something along those lines.
Right,
well,
Widget
now it's
the
just like
alien.
a thing you put on your desktop or on your phone or something. Isn't it?
Yeah, I see what you're getting at.
Yeah, so it's just like a really good clock app or something.
Yeah.
Sure.
But there was a speedrun of a game about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, speaking of, and we actually have a run of this submitted to the show. So this is Super Widget for the SNES. Any percent run done in 35:53 by Author Blues. Hey, it's a palindrome. And he says, this is a surprisingly deep speed game. After stage 12, further stages are available based on your experience points earned by killing enemies, going fast, and collecting orbs. Ooh. 140 experience is needed to skip past 4 stages directly to the final stage, and that amount is not easily earned. Special thanks to Sir System Error for helping me immensely with the routing and encouragement.
Cool.
Wasn't this a cartoon? This
I
looks
believe
familiar.
Yeah, that character.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm pretty sure there was a cartoon franchise for this character, but I don't know for sure.
When I saw that the amount of experience affects what stages are available to you, I was like, well, why would you even get experience? Why would you want to make more stages? But I believe it works the opposite of that, right? More experience means fewer stages. Mm-hmm. And you see them stop to get these coins that are everywhere, and I presume that's what that's all about. That's why
collecting those
is happening.
He said, yeah, kills and orbs and stuff and increase your experience. So I'm sure he's like, the route is definitely going to be around like, which kills do I get, which orbs do I go for, you know, what's going to waste the least amount of time. So I don't know, I'll have to talk to him about it. It's interesting. It's kind of a cool system, really, for a speedrun.
Yeah, it's very neat to.
Just having a lot of trouble figuring out what he is, but yeah.
Some sort of alien type thing.
Yeah.
He's purple.
It's like somebody shaved Alf, and that's what he looks like.
Alf is a thing I know just purely by how often it's referenced in things, so I would not know Alf otherwise. Yeah. Well, there's plenty of it being forced down all the foreigners' throats thanks to various TV shows, so I wouldn't worry about it. Oh, you want to enjoy this show? We better learn who Alf is, because we're going to joke about him a lot.
Believe me, you're enjoying it more by joking about it than by watching one of the episodes. So you get the best part of it.
All right. We have the Expander Bros as well. We're talking about the Expander Bros and Broforce last week.
Yeah, indeed.
This is the PC low percent in 6 minutes flat by Mirror's Mind, who doesn't have a comment. But if you want to know more about the Expander Bros or Broforce, check out our episode from last week. It was all about Broforce. Very interesting game. Pretty fun looking. I'm not going to lie and say I played it, but it did look pretty cool. I was a big fan of the pig, but unfortunately they patched it out.
Yeah, that was so sad to see the pig fly was patched. Because that's amazing. We have
Trag Mission of Mercy on PS1, any percent by Caveman DCJ in 5232. He very kindly points out that it's Tactical Rescue Assault Group. I think I was Tactical Reconnaissance Assault Group, as I don't remember, but aka Hard Edge the Disaster Adventure. Weird run. I'm not sure how I've been getting good times all of a sudden.
So this is based on a true story of PJ going to the convenience store to pick up a soda or something, correct? The Disaster Adventure?
Something like that, yeah. Disaster Adventure. Going to pick up his soda. Did he pre-order his soda?
Oh, no. I mean, just pick up, grab, what was it you said?
Get a grab.
Yeah, get a grab of soda.
Get a grab.
I want to know what a tactical rescue assault is, though. What's how do you rescue? You rescue and assault. Those are two different goals.
Look. No. You see, people are in the process of rescuing something, and you're there to stop them. That's how it works.
Oh, I see.
So you are assaulting the rescuers.
Like a rescue
tactically.
assault, though.
Yeah, well, you don't assault
with more than one
when
of you.
you're on defense. Like, that still doesn't make sense.
Listen, man, there's a bunch of bad pregnant women in there, and they need to be rescue assaulted.
What?
I was trying to think of someone you'd rescue but also assault. So bad and then pregnant women. So
I see what you're getting at. They're evil, but we also have to rescue them.
Hard Edge.
Don't get any more recaps. Yeah, I think at least Hard Edge, the Disaster Adventure is. I mean, it's also doesn't explain anything, but it's just a lot less.
At least it's not contradictory. It makes no sense, but it's not contradictory. So
that's true.
I wanted to see the regular rescue assault group, not tactical.
They're not nearly as interesting.
No tactics.
You want to see the tactless rescue assault group?
Tactless.
Tacticless? Oh, tactless.
The tactless.
Actually,
apparently, Gloryhawk says you're rescuing them from someone who needs assaulting.
Oh,
there you go.
So you're multitasking tactically with more than one of you.
Assault the people that you rescue after rescuing them, but
no, but you could. But I don't know if that would work out so well.
I'm thinking
bad for
tactless
PR.
isn't without tactics, is it? Because tact and tactics are different. So
yes,
tacticless. I don't know.
Tacticless.
Anyway, moving on to this. Ease the Vanished Omens on Master System. Great series, great console, probably the best game ever. Then it's any percent at 2301 by Crazy Rasmus, who just says rest in peace, Ease.
Wait, I'd like to point out that 01 is not seconds. That's seconds.
You're right. That's 23.1 seconds.
Yes.
Thank you for pointing that one out.
Yes, this is Ease the Vanished gameplay. That's what this game is. So you're
And
watching the
credits.
Seconds and 1/3 of a frame, by the way.
Yep.
That's right, 1/3 of a frame. Well, this is, I don't know how Sega Master System timing works, but
I guess
it's
it's
kind of weird to have
RTA, I suppose.
0.01 seconds.
I guess it's just RTA when he hit the split, I suppose.
Probably so.
Yeah, he's probably,
Pretty much you go into a shop, you buy certain things, and then the game's over.
Then you wander around.
Credits. Yep, there it is.
I do remember this one. Dawn begins to brighten the
Buys the wing in like 4 mirrors, and the game is over.
Yeah, well, if you look really closely, hold on, let me go back to the very last thing he does in the menu is I'm gonna try and pause it for it because it's obviously quick, given that it's a speed run. When he goes to leave, well, there it was. All right. So when he goes to leave the shop, and I couldn't get the freeze frame on it, for some reason the cursor goes to the right. All right, so I froze frame on the leave, and when okay. It looks like he selects an option that's not there. I don't know for sure, but let me pull that back up. Like, hang on, there we go.
So
okay.
the shop has a hidden item that's credits.
I'm not entirely sure what it is, but I've pulled it back up. So give it a second for it to pop back up. I've got a freeze frame of it.
There's going to be one day in the future where I'm going to need to buy 4 mirrors from a shop in real life, and I'm going to be very scared about what I'm about to do.
Yeah, so like the cursor is on leave, and then it shifts over to the right of leave. So I don't know if what he does makes it pick a different thing, or if that just happens when you actually exit the screen or something, but it's weird.
So you surround yourself in the 4 mirrors, thus producing an infinity of yourself in all directions.
Rasmus, tell us about this run. Let us know what's happening.
Escape the universe, and that's it.
Yeah. One of the U's is in the credits, so... Well, there you go. All right, so good job, Crazy Rasmus. I'm so glad. This is so straightforward as well. I mean, I'd love to know what exactly is going on.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Rasmus, if you're out there, give us a holler and tell us about this glitch.
If someone has ever accidentally done this, yeah, I'll buy some mirrors. Oh no! Yeah, the game wasn't that good. All right, then finally, let's give this one to Duckfist, just because it's the last one on the list. So,
all right, we have Zombies Ate My Neighbors. Ooh, this is a good one. Nice co-op SNES game. An SNES by Lurk in 34 minutes 37 seconds. Lurk says a route kills off all but one neighbor to go fast. That just sounds great.
Why did you kill my son? I had to go fast.
It's the name of the game. Let the zombies
Why would you leave just me alive? What's wrong with you? You're a monster.
So he says the route kills off all but one neighbor to go fast, but with the risk of having that one neighbor randomly die.
Well,
drops are random, and this run didn't have the best drop luck. It was still fast and well executed, though. The route itself doesn't depend on random drops, as the static drops, especially the hidden flamethrower, help you get through the run. So, yeah, pretty low RNG, except for that crazy neighbor that could die at any time. But pretty cool.
It's a pretty cool game. I played this. I want to say I played this with Oasis recently. It's a fun game.
Yeah, it's fun co-op. It's pretty tough, actually.
Yeah, it is. Tough. Yeah, we got to the point where we just started to do really badly. Like, difficulty really ramped up. So I like this. It's another time I can think of it, another zombie game in Left 4 Dead where you have to kill all your teammates to go quickly. So something about those zombie games.
Yeah, indeed. Hey, speaking of going quickly.
Wow, we went quickly.
Yeah, the records.
Oh, we also have an answer to what happened to Ys.
We do.
He sets values by scrolling the screen a certain way. I guess that sets some values in memory that then get accessed when you use the Pim's Pawn Shop mirror glitch, which does the credits warp. Huh.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, there you go. All right, just to mention as well, something that happened over this weekend that hopefully you guys all saw or caught some of. It was a huge success, at least in terms of viewer count, and damn fun when I was there, was the Mystery Tournament 5 wrapped up. We'd like to congratulate Used Pizza, who took home the gold there, with Full of Lizards and is second. I know Captain Drake and Primal had to drop out, and they were replaced with Mangera and... And now I've forgotten the other guy, and I feel bad. I can't remember. But anyway, it was a really great tournament. I got to commentate a few of the games, and it was fantastic. Some really cool games in there. Banana Prince was an exceptionally brilliant highlight. I don't know if anyone saw Banana Prince.
Oh, man, I randomly landed on that on Nest Roulette the other night, and I love that game. It is really fun.
Quiz. Ivan was the guy that replaced Primal. Thank you, Razzie. But yeah, Banana Prince, great moments all throughout that thing. There was a part in Banana Prince at the end, you got to answer this quiz, and if you get the questions wrong, you get chucked down this tower and you have to climb it again. But one of the questions was, and I'm sure chat will correct me, something along the lines. One of them was, what color is the blood of a banana tree? And it was red, yellow, blue, or green, or something like that. And then one of the questions was, this really gets on your ... And then it was like, notebook, letters, banana, name. And the answer was name. It was very odd. I have no idea. But it was
lost in translation, I guess.
Yeah, I guess so. But it was a great event. I saw it with over, I thought it was 2,500 viewers plus at one point, and for most of the evening. So rousing success, was front page of Twitch, lots of people joining in. Good job to Use Pizza. He ended up winning the final 3-0 against Full of Lizards. So yeah, good job, DP.
Oh, there we go.
Really great event.
The question was, what do you get most on your? And the answer was name.
Yeah, what do you get most on your? Yeah, that was it. But it was really great. So good job to Boney, and then Sloop and Sent and Bangera, and I don't know, all the other guys who helped organize it. I know I'm missing some of you. Lightyear helped out too, Blackie. So all those guys, damn good job. It was a blast to watch. And good luck with the next mystery tournament, which I guess will be in 6 months or something. So usually about when they are.
Sounds about right.
But that was great. And I think that's everything we wanted to mention outside of...
Yeah, we talked about JRTA mid.
We mentioned JRTA.
Don't forget to support that, y'all.
Else. Yeah, I'm sure there's something else happening soon that we're gonna miss.
It's true.
I think Speedathon is this week, is another online marathon that's coming up. So, yeah, 19th to the 22nd, if you want to check that one out.
Dang, you just got called out.
Dude, I should join the mystery tournament. Yeah, maybe one day. I don't know if I just want to. I don't know if I can handle the ego destruction of losing 2 games in a row, but. Yeah, maybe
there was also the Final Fantasy relay.
Yes, that was it.
There was.
Yeah.
There was the 4 to 6 relay, and also the Japanese. There was a 7 to 9 relay, and Karakhan entered the 7 to 9 relay alone as a single person. I don't know the results on any of those. Do you know the results of any of those?
I don't. Karakhan won, but I'm not. I can't remember. There was like
he would have won, but
there was actually like 4 other people that were soloing it.
Yeah.
I think.
Oh, really? Okay.
4 other, but they were all. There was all. He was competing with the Japanese community. It was a Japanese community organized event, I think. Yeah. But I don't know how those guys do it.
Yeah.
So.
No idea, but yeah.
The 4 to 6 one was pretty cool. I
know Fuexa was streaming it. They got some good stream numbers there too. So. There you go. Karakhan was second, and I believe Karakhan ran it in English too. So, which I would assume then is a disadvantage over Japanese text.
I caught some of his FF7, and it was definitely Japanese.
What I saw of 9 was in English, so don't worry. Better out than.
Okay, I don't know. Whatever. They were both successful. So too many things going on one Saturday.
All the things.
Yeah, it's been a hectic weekend of streams to watch.
We mentioned it last week that it would be.
Yes, you're right. You're right. We definitely. We
told you you would have your ass firmly planted in a chair watching speed games.
And we're still like 4 months away from a marathon. Like it's only going to get crazier every weekend from now on.
Months from the next big speedrun event. Although there's a smaller, obviously much smaller in comparison, but still pretty big. There will be a DreamHack event coming up again, another one in Sweden. So we'll keep you posted on that one. So stopgap in terms of big events, but that's the second DreamHack one. Trying to show the esports guys how it's done. So there you go.
Oh yeah, we have DeuceCon. I don't know if you guys have heard of what this is coming up in about a month, I think.
Thereabouts,
Duesler is putting on a little speedrunner gathering in southern Texas.
That he is.
And I'm going to drive over there and say hi to everybody. Just people hanging out, playing some speedruns. There'll be a stream, like maybe 12 hours a day with games going on it for like a good weekend. I forget the exact date.
I believe it's 4 days long, as that's the... Coincidentally enough, that's the exact amount of like day bumper trailers he asked me to make for said marathon.
That's right. Okay.
So yeah, I'm doing that and a hype trailer for it.
Nice.
So,
Okay.
yeah,
Nice.
Really cool.
We got 2 of them done. They're pretty good. But
All right then.
need some more. DeuceCon though, good to watch.
So
That'll be really good. So I can't remember what channel it is on, but we'll just talk about
is
it.
that this week or next week?
October 16 through 19.
There you go.
Nice. Okay.
All right.
It's on Twitch TV/Deuceler, DEUCELER.
Give me one moment here, and I will have a link to the schedule for you as well, if you don't have it already.
Oh, more of those. There's a meetup in the Netherlands at the end of the month too, which I'm planning on going to as well. So lots of meetups all over the place. If you find a meetup going on in your area, go to it. I would absolutely suggest it, as I'm sure the rest of the crew would too. All right. We're going to do as we usually do, run some adverts at the end of the stream. We'd like to thank everyone watching and our guests in order as we listed them before. Sinister1, Mr. K, Zalad, and DK28. Is the Contra Conference live now?
I'm loading it up right now to check.
I don't believe it is, but...
Oh, okay.
Okay, it is not yet, but I bet it will be soon. So
how about a camp raid?
Yeah, should we just leave it at that and just tell them to go watch it then? Or?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, sure.
But yeah, I posted the link to the DeuceCon schedule in the Skype if you want to post that in the chat.
Okay.
So as people can see what's going on.
Well, let's throw that in there. There's no reason not to. There it is. So go check out DK28's channel for the Contra Conference when it starts. Hopefully you're all excited to check that one out.
Wait, that's not it, is it? Oh yeah, it is. Yeah, that's the schedule. Yeah. You're right.
Okay.
Totally it.
And we're going to run some ads at the end of the show. Thanks to the guys. We're not sure what the episode for next week's going to be, but don't worry, we'll have something planned. No problem there. We'll get something sorted out. And we shall... Is that it? See you soon?
Yeah,
yes, we will definitely see you soon.
All right.
So
Sweet.
Yeah,
Bye-bye.
you head over to this channel right here. Oop, that one works too. That's a different thing. But yeah, that. To go see some Contra. It'll be up eventually. They'll be breaking games.
Not yet, but eventually.
Final Fantasy IV Duck Crack. Oh, that's Ninja Gaiden Duck Crack.
Oh yeah, I'm racing Crack Attack. Yeah, I'm playing like 5 games there.
Duck Crack, huh?
Duck
Yeah, I don't even remember agreeing to that, but okay, I'll race Ninja Gaiden. I don't care.
It's like catnip, I guess.
Duck Crack.
Why duck?
All right.
Why not Quack Attack?
One word.
We'll see you guys next week. Thanks for watching.
Yes, thank you very much.
Bye-bye.
Thanks everybody. Good night.